So I started the recording. So welcome to session 15. So previously, Oreo and Ragu started to explore the tomb hidden beneath the isolated grave. They found a room where the dead were interred, with a large pit full of bones surrounded by pillars and yellowed stone sarcophagi snugly fit in alcoves along the walls. You determined that the room was some sort of magical trap, most likely designed to kill intruders. You then found a room to the south full of old, cracked clay pots filled with powdered leaves and charcoal. You discovered that one of the pots was trapped. You were able to disarm the trap and find Hintero's stash hidden beneath the loose stone in the floor. You then looked into the third room to find it too trapped. At this point, you returned to the group. Pico used mold earth and his druid magic to tunnel to the Moradel estate, honing in on the lone olive tree in the central courtyard. This took about 2 hours. When you arrived at the courtyard, you heard two Tabaxi talking. They were speaking of the organization that had visited them, seeking equal treatment for Sidaga, and you learned that Ragath believed them to be spies. You also learned that Ragath was expecting you, though not from this particular entrance. Finally, you learned that the cook was currently preparing a late-night meal for Ragath. You used magic and stealth to sneak past the sentries. You found the kitchen, knocked out the cook, and left him tied up in the kitchen. You drugged Ragath's food, delivered to Ragath disguised as the cook. Unfortunately, Ragath seemed to have an unexpected reaction, dying on the spot. You, After searching Ragath's office and finding nothing useful, Pico transformed to a spider and explored the grounds while the others waited with Ragath. After exploring most of the rooms, Pico finally found a letter linking the actions of the Gara de Sombra with their benefactors, House Orgai, a minor house that was disgraced and forced to move from the city to make room for House Akla of Thomar. Having found sufficient evidence, you snuck away, though at one point Ragu was surrounded by a horde of confused but heavily armed Tabaxi. The next day, you returned to the hidden tomb beneath the isolated grave. You set off one of the trapped rooms, though you were prepared and fought off the skeletons that rose. As we begin, it is Rizal 9th, and you are still in the tomb. As you are deciding what to do next, the ground shakes and you hear a muffled sound of rocks crashing. It sounds like it is coming from beneath the ground in the second trapped room. So I'm going to go ahead and move you over to the map. Make sure everything is centered. All right, so you are in the tomb. Like I said, you've heard the sound of crashing rocks, though it was muffled, coming from coming from the direction of the third room, although it seems to be coming from beneath the ground. So what do you do?
Perhaps we should check that out there.
Ow. I
Ow,
think I'm
indeed.
gonna leave.
All right, so what do you do?
Can we get out? Or are we stuck in here right now?
We did block the door, so it should be open.
This
We didn't block the main entry, which, as far as I understand, did slam shut.
and it is still closed.
Oh.
Well, we can try and open it.
All right, how are you going to do that?
I mean, they slid, right?
Yes, they slide back. Yeah, they definitely slid closed, and you could potentially try using something like a crowbar, unless you have other ideas.
I do have the crowbar.
We have a big bear still with us, don't we?
And a big strong bear or a big strong ragu, we can push this open.
All right. If you getting the bear in there is pretty tricky, but you do manage it. So Ragu and Pico, I'm gonna need you both to make strength checks, and if the sum of the strength check is high enough to open the door, then we'll go from there.
All right, hold on. I gotta bring up the appropriate character sheet.
All right. Can I use just athletics, or do you want me to hit just plain strength?
I think it's just strength for this kind of thing.
All right. And since we have the crowbar, we should have advantage.
Okay. So that looks like a 44, counting for advantages. And so that is definitely enough to open the door. And as you work on it, and it slowly starts moving. And then once it moves past a certain amount, it just slides the rest of the way open on its own. And while this is occurring, all the doors open up. So in other words, you got it started, and once you got it past a certain point, it seemed like all the doors opened up on their own.
And the noise from beneath is gone
It
when
is
that
gone.
happens?
Yes, it was a brief noise. Yeah, you heard it sounded like rocks, perhaps maybe a cave-in, or rocks falling from something. But you're pretty sure it was from beneath the ground because you see nothing changed in the room.
Yeah, that's what I was going to do. Peek to see if there's anything physically different.
It looks exactly the same as last time you saw it.
Alrighty. Okay, how are we doing? Are we wanting to get up and get some rest?
Yeah.
Yes.
Okay.
Okay, so are you going to leave?
Mm-hmm.
All right.
Yeah.
All right. So you leave the tomb. You're actually way over here. So what are you going to do from there? It's in the afternoon at this point.
I'll leave this up to both Virgo and Pico because I think there was a talk about changing the entrance to some other spot, but I don't know if you guys want to take the time to do that now or if we just want to leave now.
I just kind of look at the big bear Pico and it's like gesture towards the entrance or gesture towards leaving.
I just cock my head to one side.
Which side do you cock your head to? The stay here and fix the entrance or the leaving? We can just bury the entrance for now, come back, modify it later.
I'm
Or is
just
that-
looking at you, and just when I cock my head, I guess I could cock it to the right, but there's.
Ragu, you get the feeling you're not going to get the answer you're looking for.
Yeah, I'm gonna just start heading back then. If there's no
Okay.
determined decision, I'm just gonna go back.
All
Okay.
right. That's good. Shall we just cover up just fill in the grave and then head back? Yeah.
Is that what you
Leave it
do?
as
You
it
fill it
was.
in?
Yeah, I'll just
Okay.
just whatever needed to just cover it up to make it not look like somebody freshly went down there.
Fair enough. All right. You cover the grave. That doesn't take too long since the longer time is actually digging it out. So let's say about 15 minutes or so. And then you head back into the city. So where do you go from there?
My plan was to go rest. That's
Okay.
the only thing she's
So
concerned
everybody
about. I don't know
goes
if
to
you know if
your...
you follow.
Fair enough. So you go to your homes. Is there anything anybody's doing before you take your short rest?
Yeah, I can't think of anything else.
Fair enough.
As we're getting back to the city, I just kind of lean over and mention maybe Zabera going into the city is not a good idea.
Okay, so I guess you guys discuss. Oh. All right, hold on. I'll be right back. You guys just discuss what you want to do.
Okay.
I'm coming.
I know we're gonna go rest, but is there anything else we want to do to try and get hit points back?
I mean, I'm kind of hoping that we haven't. Let me see. Was it a new day when we first came into this place? It was, right?
Yeah, it's only like afternoon now, like 12:15, 12:30.
No, it's not that. I mean, if it's been an early day, then I would ask if maybe I could have Galen do the healing thing on me first, so that can be used. I don't remember if that got used on me yet because he did a cure wounds. He didn't do a.
Yeah,
He
he
wouldn't
didn't
have
do
had time to do a healing kit on you.
Yeah, sorry, I had
No.
to step away for a second. Anyway, yeah, I can roll that on you if you want. Let me bring up his character.
But I know he says usually like do this plus add that. So I don't know if
Oh,
I don't know
actually,
what it is that
I
he
can just
adds.
look it up. Healers. Um, medical? Medicine. Sorry, I always forget
think
what kit it is. This thing is
I
so...
think it's his roll plus the number of hit
Here it
dice you
is.
have.
Doo-doo-doo. It's 1d6 plus 4 plus the number of hit die you have.
Okay. So just I guess 1d6 and then I'll add the 7 after, which is the 4 plus my 3 hit die.
Okay. And let's see where he has his number of uses. Here it is. Oh, no, wait. Oh, there it is. So, okay, so I marked off one use, bringing one of his kits down to 7. There you go.
Did you want to roll for him
Yeah,
in
you can
terms of
roll
the
for it.
healer?
Yeah, it's just a d6 plus your 7. Doesn't really matter who rolls.
And if you roll a 1, it counts as a 2.
Oh, wow.
Not bad.
That helps.
Yeah.
All right. So anybody... All right. I'm sorry. It sounds like people are having trouble. Everybody finish out your short rest. We'll start out on the 10th in just a minute.
Okay.
Being awful quiet today.
Okay.
Okay.
I'm
Oh,
gonna
so I'll start missing.
roll it.
Oh, shit.
All right. So you guys take a short rest. It is now the 10th. It's a fairly cool day, and there's a light breeze from the west and a few clouds in the sky. So what do you do?
Um,
And the
Pico, where
answer
do you
could
want-
be go back to the tomb or whatever else. It's the next day. So what do you guys want to do?
Quick question for you, Jeremy, in terms of when we came back from the expedition, well, after the long rest, what date was that? When we finished the long rest, the level up. Do you have that in your notes by any chance? I'm not sure if I.
When we finish the long rest, hold on, I can get you that information.
Yeah, because I just wanna be sure that I time the hit dice stuff like after the 7 days or after the long rest, and so I want to see what day we are in the week.
Okay, so you want to see where you are after your 2-week downtime. Then.
Right, because that's when we started doing like adventuring stuff. So that's essentially day 1 of the 7 days.
Rysel 7th was when we started doing stuff again, and
We're on
we're
the
now
10th.
2 days later.
Okay, cool. Thank
So I
you.
think we're on the 9th.
Oh, we're on the 10th
We're on
now
the 10th.
because you
Oh
guys
wait, no, yeah,
just
you're
left.
right. There's the 9th.
So that'd be 3
Okay.
days later.
Thank you.
No problem. All right, is everybody squared away then?
Yes.
I think so, yep. I mean, if we really want to go back in there, sure, but then I'll have to ask Galen to heal me one more time.
It is the next day, so that's certainly possible.
Yeah, but I'm
And
not gonna have him do it that if we're not gonna go back there necessarily.
I was going to say we do also have the little investigating to do with Pico if he wants to, but is that something you want to go do or try to look into?
Sorry, what was that?
We have the little side quest for you about getting your ability to communicate in Beatswarm.
Uh, Perhaps. Of course, I forget when when we were supposed to.
That was on America Day. So you still have a couple of days.
And so, what's the deal with this exactly? Like, what was it you had heard specifically?
Oh, I explained it. Hold on. Yeah, if we go out the south gate, we'll find an old crone named Kala. And we have to check her out to see if there's anything dangerous, but word has it that she has the ability to give people telepathic ability for a quote unquote price, but we don't know what that is. That's why we have to check her out first for danger.
And just because your character would remember, her name was Kala.
Yeah, I just said the old crone Kala.
Oh, okay. I
Sorry.
misheard that. Okay, go ahead.
Yep, to his credit, I heard him say the name, even though I promptly forgot it anyway.
Fair enough.
Well, I guess that's probably less hazardous than getting eaten by skeletons.
So yeah, you guys do know that in that tomb, something happened beneath. So that tells you something. And then, of course, you do also know about the crone that you just mentioned. So what are you guys going to do?
So out of that tomb, did you get whatever it was that you wanted?
I believe I did. The rest was just fun and fighting, and we could always see what else is there, but we do not know if there is anything else there aside from more fun and fighting.
Fun, huh? I glanced over at Oreo.
Yep. I think that if we're gonna tackle that again, I would rather the entire party be in their, at
Yeah.
full strength, and I look over at the two that are apparently in a very depressed form, standing in the back probably.
Where
I
are
agree.
Galen and I anyway? Are they working on their equal rights movement?
That would probably be a good bet.
Either that or at the temple.
Yeah, so they're not even with us. Okay, cool. Fair enough. So yeah, so it's either that or start preparing for the upcoming expedition, because I did have things to note down that it's more like shopping day, but shouldn't take that long anyway, so there's that too.
Yeah, we just need to go get some supplies, fill the cart, and then show up at the Nexus. But we've got a few days before that, so if we can get this for Pico, then that would be a big help for the entire party, being able to communicate with him when he is a big beastie. Yeah.
We probably should get the supplies sorted first, because I mean we're going to need those regardless.
Okay.
Okay.
Actually, that might be where it'd be good to talk to Carl and see if we can find out what they've got planned for the expedition, because however long the expected duration is should impact how much we need to haul with us.
Yes.
All right. So you are going to head to the Nexus Guild then?
Yeah, sure.
All right. Fair enough. All right. You head to the Nexus Guild, and as you show up, Elru seems to already be waiting outside, although you don't have as many people as I have depicted. And she says, "Welcome. You have a few days. So what do you need?"
We were looking to see if maybe we could get an idea of how long the expedition was going to be and maybe a basic overview of what the objectives would be like so that we can better plan our provisions.
Oh, okay. Come in. And then she takes you inside to Carl. And Carl seems to be busy doing some sort of paperwork. And he looks up and he says, "Oh, it's you. Please come in and have a seat. Give me a moment. I have to finish filling out this form here." And then he goes and he continues to write for a good 5 more minutes. And then he sets it aside and he says, "You understand everything that's been happening with the Gara de Sombra, that debacle, and of course, we've been looking into the issues with the portal, potential people, unauthorized people going in and out, that kind of thing. So it's a real scramble in order to try to get stuff ready for your expedition. I can't say this with any certainty yet, and so don't worry. But there may be delays, but I'll certainly let you know if that turns out to be the case. In the meantime, what was your question again?
The question was going to be if we had a time estimate as far as how long the upcoming expedition would take, and if there are any mission objectives that might impact what sorts of supplies we'd want to bring with us.
Yes, excellent questions. We are still finalizing the exact details. However, I can tell you what we have determined so far. And you brought us one thing that was rather interesting that we've been able to look into, and he pops out a rendition of it. Obviously, it's not the original. And he says there's this interesting map that you brought, and we have, based on the other markings you've retrieved, deduced that this is potentially, I can't say this for sure, but this is potentially a means of traveling over great distances. However, we believe there were a set of crystals that were that one was lit and the others were dark, and we believe that that indicates that the connecting points are inoperative for some reason, or not connected, or whatever, however that works. We're still not sure exactly how all this works and how much is technology and magic and so on. But anyway, we need to start enabling broader explorations. So we would actually like you to attempt to make the journey, at least part way, depending on how rough the terrain is, toward one of those locations. Unfortunately, the closest location, from what we can gather from the terrain and from what little we've been able to translate, is by far the most dangerous. And the location in the southwest corner appears to be in the middle of a vast, dry desert. So we believe the best initial candidate is actually in the upper right corner, unfortunately, in the upper east corner. So your first expedition will be headed toward that. Unfortunately, we fully expect that may take a month or more. And in fact, if it takes too long, we would recommend that you retreat. But our hope is that you will be able to activate it, or however that works, and perhaps use it to return. So I'm hoping that you only have to make half the journey by foot.
And what kind of terrain did you say that was again?
We know the southwest is a vast desert. We believe there's a volcano, believe it or not, that one lone mountain in the south, sort toward the edge on the in the south westish area. We believe that's actually a volcano. So there might be some mountains as well, but we believe it's mostly a vast desert. And there are indications that it isn't that is less hospitable than you would expect a desert to be. So that doesn't sound good. And to the south, or the southeast, we don't know the exact terrain there. Although what little we've been able to translate indicates that severe danger, and from not just the terrain, but whatever lurks there. And we we believe that at least at this point in time, that is probably certain death.
Wait,
Okay,
so
but
just
the direction we're going though is the upper right one you said,
Yes, and
and that was
from
all
your
desert.
reports, it seems like there was um, toward that direction on the mountains there was greenery. So we have hopes that you will find easier terrain to navigate. But unfortunately, there isn't much indicating what exactly that terrain's like. But we believe it's easier than going to the south.
out of character again, just because maybe I just missed this or did not get this. How exactly is it that if we go in by terrain one way, we're gonna once we get there and we activate things, we're gonna just somehow get back here from that point? Maybe I lost track of how that operates.
Well,
I think the idea is that there's something there that we could equip or activate.
anyway, from what you remember, Oreo, of the location, you remember a vast, um, clearly artificial tunnel. And you remember that there were some sort of metallic tracks or something on the ground and some sort of structure. And But yeah, beyond that, they don't seem to understand how it would how it would allow you to make the journey. They just seem to have some indication that it would.
Ah, okay. So it's not like they necessarily explain. They're just under the assumption that if activated, that would be the easiest way to come back.
Right. And
Gotcha.
they've apparently learned learned how to read at least a small portion of the language, and from there they're able to determine that it's supposed to be some method of fast transportation.
I see. Okay, fair.
Um, but he continues, like, unfortunately, all this is still mostly conjecture. We're filling in the holes, so we can't make guarantees. That's why we're sending able adventurers such as yourselves instead of archaeologists and biologists and the like you would expect. So does that answer your questions?
So yeah, this expedition is going to be like a month. It looks like we're going to be heading far off, but it's going to be straight travel. Now, since we'd already gone there once and we were basically on foot with a donkey pulling a little cart, that was so fast. But if we were to have riding horses, would that increase our transportation speed, or is the terrain too rough? I think we'd know that because we were already there. I
Yeah.
just don't know that.
So the limiting factor before was the wagon using the cart was about the same speed as your normal walking. So the cart really wasn't slowing you down that much, although it was limiting obviously where you can go exactly. So having horses would allow you to move faster. Although some terrain would obviously still slow you down, but it would be based on that new movement rate, if that makes sense.
Yeah.
However, you still have the issue of taking stuff with you. You know, you're limited by however fast you can move that stuff.
Yeah.
Question with that because we were kind of curious, and this kind of ties in a bit with what Tyler and some of us have been talking out of game, is an idea for maybe to have the guild help us build something as an add-on to the cart to help us with weight restrictions, just because we feel like if we're going to be out there even longer, if we do find things that are more beneficial for the guild, it would be worth investing on something much more upgradable, especially for a longer track.
All right. So, are you asking for the guild to invest in a larger vehicle, or are you asking for something else? Sorry, it's not clear.
It's intended to be more like a magical upgrade. I
Oh,
don't forget what the
here.
name of the thing that Tyler had made up was called necessarily,
No.
but it's supposed to be something that you can attach to the wagon itself and will add essentially weight. What would be the weight restrictions upgraded? So I think the cart can only do 300 pounds, but with the upgrade he's thinking of, it could be more than that.
Oh, well, you can get more weight by having a wagon, a proper wagon. Part of the reason for the weight restrictions you have now is that you got a small cart because you wanted to get something cheap. So yeah, if you get a larger, a wagon, it'd be bigger. You have more space, and of course the weight limit goes up as well. They don't
Does-
have any sort of magical carts like cars or anything like that because
No, no,
if people
I,
would be
Oh,
I
using
get
those
yeah.
that.
already if they had those.
Does
Here.
it lower our speed with a regular size wagon?
A
Like a
wagon's the same speed as a cart. It's just
okay.
yeah. So you'd move exactly the same speed you move now, but it'd be bigger, and obviously you'd have more space.
I don't have on hand. I'm to check the weight limitations for a wagon, but
Yeah.
go ahead, Tyler. Sorry.
Well, before
Oh,
we
I
get too
just
hyped up on a wagon, there is something that occurred to me. Based on what I remember of what was basically one of the train stations, does it look like we could get a wagon into one of those the buildings on the rails?
Believe it or not, yes. It looks like they were rather large. You haven't seen the inside, so maybe there's something inside keeping you from doing that. But at least based on what you saw on
the
the
doors
outside,
were
it
large.
looks like it should be possible.
All right, well, feel free to get hyped up then.
But yeah, it looks like whatever that was, it could hold a fair amount of cargo.
Okay, so I mean, a wagon is 400 pounds, which is 100 pounds extra, and I believe
Now, wait a
uh,
second. The wagon weighs 400 pounds, but I believe pulling it can carry more. How does that work again?
Yeah, I had it calculated, but what was the cart? What's the weight on the cart?
300, I believe.
Yeah,
Let me
so
double
I
check.
think
390.
it's more. It's not just that amount. I think it's like 1.5 that or something like that. It's some multiplier. So I think it's more than.
It's 390 on the cart.
Okay.
So how much? So I guess if a wagon is like another, assuming here another 200 more,
Yeah,
that
it
gives
sounds
us.
about right. Yeah. Wagon weight pulling. Doo doo doo. Okay, so an animal pulling. Oh, I see. So if you get another animal, then that will actually increase the amount of weight. So if you get a wagon, then you start out with a higher amount of weight, and then if you get another animal, then you can also pull more weight.
So a wagon and 2 horses,
Or
but that
another
would still
donkey
be
or mule or whatever. Yeah.
okay. And but that would still be the same speed as
Yeah, it's
us
the same
walking,
speed,
wouldn't it?
but because there's two animals, you can essentially pull double the weight.
No, I was trying to think of how to move faster, but okay. So yeah, having extra riding horses wouldn't do anything because we'd still be as slow as the cart.
Yeah, but by having a wagon, you'd have a higher
We'd have,
base weight, and then by adding another mule, you would basically double that weight. So that would
so we
give you
could
what?
carry more supplies.
Yeah,
Yeah.
like 800 pounds or something like that, or whatever it turns out to be.
Okay.
Wow, this
So yeah,
situation would have been a dream come true for Nico.
And the other thing to verify or to make sure that you remember is that when you're not moving over rough terrain, you'll be moving twice as fast as you have been. Meaning, if you actually find plains or easier terrain, you'll move faster, just because it's easier terrain.
Okay. Now, question there is if we do want to go with just a standard upgrade of a wagon and some additional animals to help with that, is that still something that we can ask the guilds in terms of because I know that I don't know if it was the beginning of last session or if it was just as soon as we were done with the long rest. Carl did give us the do you want us to like give you help you with anything? We got a couple of days, and
Yeah, he
then
did say that. So yeah, if you ask for a wagon and an extra mule or whatever for the purposes of making your expedition easier, they will front the cost.
Sweet. So that would be my vote, but that's just my 2 cents to the whole party.
I agree.
Also agree.
Okay, so yeah, if that's the case, then add an extra mule, change out your cart for a horse, and yeah, you're good to go.
Wouldn't changing out the cart for a horse be a
I'm
downgrade?
sorry, change out your cart for a wagon. You know what I meant.
How
Yeah.
many animals are we gonna have officially now? Is it 2?
Yeah,
Or
2.
okay.
So
And there's no difference in speed between the mule and a horse hauling the wagon.
not when you're hauling the wagon, no.
Okay.
If you're riding it, then yeah, obviously.
All right.
Let's see. Equipment. So we will put that at 490, and then we'll double it. So that'll be 980.
So while he's doing that, just I guess I get back to the party. If we roughly have an idea that it's gonna be a month out, should we be planning for a month or more?
At least a month. If we have a month of provisions plus a week on us, that's a extra week addition plus the 1 month provisions. And then if we can replenish our supplies as we go, that would also be great. In case
Okay.
it takes a little longer than a month.
Yeah.
Yeah, 'cause
And
what
that
we'll need to verify is why they think a month. Because if they're basing that off of almost all of our time being going to this destination, then finding a fast way to get back. And if we have to walk back, that could
Yep.
nearly double our transit time.
That's the
Yeah,
thing
and
that I'm thinking of is terms of like if we need to plan for more because if we don't find a way to activate the thing, then we're stuck having to go the manual way back.
and that's what I was thinking. If it's 15 days there and 15 days back, that would be the month they're assuming. But they're hoping that we can get the thing activated and only have to make half the trip. So do they
Well, I'll have to
estimate
look
that
at
we
that
can
map a
travel
little more
100
carefully
miles?
to. I'm gonna have to look at that map a little more carefully to see if I can independently estimate the one-way travel time.
That that's what I was thinking. Do they estimate that we can cover 100 miles? Because isn't that what the map said? Was those points are 100 miles off? Could
Was
we
it
cover
100?
100 miles in 50 days, or would it take a full 30 days to get 100 miles?
I don't even remember the. Okay, let me check the map because I completely forgot that the beach thing was supposed to be that far apart.
Now, one thing you guys do know is that this map that you were received, obviously, it doesn't have convenient mile markers on there, so any distances are just estimates. Anyway, I
Fair.
upgraded your cart to a wagon, and it's 990. It was supposed to be 980, but getting it to get it to the right number, 990 was close enough. So we're just gonna leave it at that.
Okay.
Okay.
So do you guys want to keep asking Carl there, but in terms of the whole month situation, so before we're clear and leaving to do
Oh yeah.
shopping?
Did they expect it to be a 1 month there and back if we do have to make the whole trip back and forth?
Well, what
Or were you
they
thinking
actually
that would
told
take
you
us?
was that it would be about a month, and if it took you longer than that, or if it or if it looked like it was going to take you longer than that, then you can head back early. So they expect it to be about a month, and you kind of manage things. And if you can get there in a month, then great. If you can't get all the way there in a month, then at least you can find out what the terrain's like and figure out why that is the case and get a better estimate of distance.
Anybody else? Any input, questions?
He
I
does
know
mention at the end, though, that if it takes you longer and you decide to stick it out, do everything in your power to make sure you're gone longer than 2 months. So ideally
Oh,
it's in a month, but make sure it doesn't go over 2 months if at all possible.
curiosity. Has the guild discovered any ways of communicating with others in magically through these different worlds yet?
No,
Like,
communication magic of that kind seems to stop at the portal.
okay. So there's trying to think of any other feasible way of alerting you if something is amiss and we need to let you know from where we're at. But
Carl suggests the familiar, assuming it's not dead.
oh boy.
Okay.
The idea being is that it can just fly off and deliver a message. It'll be way too far away for Ragu to communicate with it directly, but it can still follow its last directions.
And it is a very smart bird. And then after so long, I can literally, they like popping it back to me here, yeah?
Right.
Well, yeah, but if you're like over 100 miles away, that's a bit of a stretch.
Oh no, it's in the familiar thing where I can
No,
pop
no,
them out of
no.
existence.
I'm not talking about that part. I'm saying if you're gonna send the bird out as like a SOS or something, and
Yeah,
we're out in
flying
the
100
middle of
miles.
where, yeah, it's not. We're not gonna get much of anything that from
Yeah,
that.
it's
That's fine.
it's it's not so much of an SOS as an FYI.
Yeah, fair, true.
And they
But
can
okay.
probably put a reply note on a little scroll, and Char can hold it in his mouth when I pop him back to us.
Yep.
And
Okay.
they say
But yeah, I
this
don't
is,
know.
we fully admit, this is highly dangerous and you may not survive. However, I believe that opening up the ability to journey further in the world is probably one of our primary goals so that we can have a better chance of hitting. The other thing is that these locations are there for a reason. You're not going to have just random locations for this sort of travel, which
Yeah.
means hopefully there's something else there besides that. There maybe even a city. And if not there, then at least it'll be easier to get up in that to travel further and then expand to the next point. And at one of these points, something of value, some city or something like that has to exist.
Fair.
And this is part of the reason, the length and danger of this journey is part of the reason that I'm having to fill out so much paperwork. And like I said, there is a chance of a possible delay, but I will let you know on America Day when you arrive, if that is the case or not.
Righty.
Sounds good.
Is there anything else you need?
Okay, so yeah, just we're gonna have a wagon and plan for at least a month, probably a little more. And since the wagon's got a good amount of weight to it, we can plan appropriately with supplies. Okay. Is
Mm-hmm.
there anything? Now, Ori, I know you had a list.
Yeah, but it's all mainly. I mean, yeah, if we already left, then I would probably go to my contact and see if I can start asking for a bunch of discounts for a bunch of stuff. Starting with rations. I believe the cart has 7 boxes, and that's a box per person per week. So how many do we need for a month? I'm gonna need you guys for math. Sorry.
Well, it's 1 box per person, so for 4 weeks times 5 people, that's
20 boxes.
20.
Okay, so 20 for rations. I'm just first listing them out, Jeremy, and then you can tell me like costs and stuff after. So, um, this isn't going to cost anything. It's just water barrels, but you guys do the math in terms of how much we need to have and the math for the weight, because that thing is also pretty heavy and we need to account for a month's worth, I suppose. So you guys can do that, but that's not going to be part of the shopping list. I have in here oil or the pint for oil. We have 8 in there right now, and that's including one that I have put in from extra that I had bought. Do we need any more oil? And if so, do we want to just add it up to 10 total, or do we want to go up a bit higher just because we're going to be out longer?
I don't think we need to go more than 10.
Anyway, your
So-
cart or your wagon now already has rations and water barrels listed there, so you already have the weights. So I went ahead and just put the prices down, assuming you're using your
Okay.
contact.
All right. Oh, cool. 20 silver, 10 silver. Okay, yeah, way cheaper.
Okay,
Okay.
and then the other one would be healer's kit. How much is with the discount?
Okay. Healer.
So ration boxes. We have 7, but we wanted a grand total of 20, so we need 13 more.
Mm-hmm.
And then the same with the water. We have 2, but we wanted how many?
That one's a bit tougher just because of, I mean, I don't, yeah, you guys don't have to figure that one out 'cause that's gonna be tough just because it's 50 pounds per barrel, and I believe 1 barrel is per person also per week. Or is
Right.
it less? Or is
No,
it the
it's
same as the ration box?
the same as the ration box, yeah. So 1 barrel lasts for
Jeez.
1 week.
So that's very heavy.
So
That's
that's
the
4
biggest issue
barrels
with
per
expeditions is
person.
actually water, not food.
Well, on
Actually,
the
they
plus
have-
side, keep in mind, I mean, initial weight could be a problem, but keep in mind that that stuff will get inherently lighter as we go. So if we find artifacts worth bringing back, well, chances are we'll have already depleted some water.
Jeremy, what's the one the pint of oil or the flask of oil? What's the discount on that one too? Because I need to buy 2 of those.
All right, sure. Let me find that real quick.
And while you're at it, if there's anything that she might have in terms of cages, medium-sized cages, I guess. That's what we were talking about, right, Tyler? Like medium-sized
Oh, yeah, that
cages
was
to...
because if we needed to find more wild animals, if this expedition doesn't have us doing that, we don't really need the cages. But if we're still supposed to look out for bringing back samples of wild animals.
So do we want to have a cage or not? That's my point. Or because if so, I'm gonna ask her to see if she has any, but if not, then I can skip it. What do
Anybody
you think?
else input ideas?
Not especially.
Okay. So if that's the case, then we'll skip it for now. Um, this one's more for me, but if I actually don't know, I'll ask my contact in case, because I'm assuming that she's from the same guild as Oreo is in.
Yeah.
Does she know if they would give me studded leather or would I have to buy it? Because
You're
that's the
pretty
only
sure
thing.
you'd have to buy it.
Okay, fine. So I'll buy studded leather if she has it at a discount.
All right. That would be 33 or 330 silver.
Sweet. Okay, and
Which is normally 450. So
yep, I know. That's why I'm saying that's really good. I like that. And then I think those are the main things I got on my list that we wanted to buy. So let me do the math for that, and then but yeah, you guys want to talk to them yourselves. Um,
okay.
Do you have anything you thought might have been helpful last time if we had brought it with us?
Oops.
Is he there? Or is he just having audio issues?
What was that?
I just asked you a question. I was waiting for an answer, and he was just dead silent, so I didn't know if you were having audio issues.
Oh, I wasn't sure who that was directed to, but I can't think anything offhand.
I did say Pico, so yeah, sorry if I wasn't clear. Am I coming in clearly, or am I skipping out?
I heard you, although I didn't actually hear the Pico part. I heard the question, but I didn't hear Pico, so that must have skipped.
Okay, sorry.
No
Yeah,
problem.
yeah, Pico, was there anything else you thought that we probably would have been useful to have last time we went to Lumev?
I thought I just answered that question, but no, I can't think of anything.
All right, and I have 9 uses of incense, so definitely going to be able to bring Char back.
did anybody happen to do the math on how many barrels of water we were gonna need for like a month?
I
That'd
was
be the
hoping.
same as the food, 40. Or no, 20. Yeah, 5
One.
times 4, 20.
So we need a
Oh,
total of
for 2 months
18.
we need 40.
So okay, 18 barrels then. Okay, so let me do that.
For what it's worth, it's hard to be sure, but looking at the maps, it looks like it's roughly 2 weeks each way, so it looks like a month should work. I mean, yeah.
Yeah, a month plus the week we carry on us would be a little bit of a buffer, so that should be fine if we don't find the opportunity to resupply.
Which, to be
Right, how
clear,
many
you actually did find those opportunities last time, at least for
Yes,
water.
yes, and that was at the Spire, but this is far away from the Spire. But
Yep.
yes, we did find those opportunities last time. But if there isn't one between the Spire and this other place, I'm guessing there will be eventually because there's greenage. But yeah, this is just if we don't. How many healers kits did you pick up there, Oreo?
5.
Okay, so 7 total.
Yes, correct. So, just the rations, the water, and the healer's kits come to 59 gold. So I'm gonna reduce that from my thing.
Now we have a slight problem with that because I just put all the numbers in. 20
That's
water barrels killed us.
Yeah, that's why I was saying like I was hoping you guys would can do some sort of math to kind of figure out based off of the card weight. So if you guys want to do that, then I'll only pay for what we can
Now
officially
we can
carry.
refill water barrels. We can refill water barrels once we find fresh water sources. So if we wind up only taking 10 water barrels, that'd only be 2 weeks worth, but we'll have to resupply somewhere. Because as it stands right now, we're like 300 pounds over.
Okay, so I guess it's a lot of logistics right now in terms of just, I mean, we can certainly grind this out now, but it's up to you guys because I don't want to also take in-game time just to figure out logistics about this. I can always do this after and give it to you, Jeremy, in chat.
Yeah,
So
whatever
that
you
way
guys
you
want
know
to do.
exactly how many.
Well,
Yeah.
you could always cut it down to 3 weeks of water barrels. That looks like it comes in under the wire.
So 15 total, that was from 2, so 13. Okay. 13.
And you only bought 2 oil to bring us up to 10?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. And then, okay.
Now,
So
obviously,
20
one thing you guys can do is if you find any areas that are relatively safe or secluded, you could potentially leave stuff there with the idea that you can go back for it if you need it. So if you feel like you're carrying too much weight, let's say more water than you need, you can leave some behind, and if you get into trouble, go back and get it, kind of thing.
That's true, but the trick is that we have to start with the maximum weight. So by the time that starts being a benefit, we're already reducing our weight total. So
Fair enough.
Okay, so it's gonna be 54 gold for that just alone. I'll reduce the money for the personal stuff like the leather, and then because the oil is in copper, that's separate too. So, um,
Yeah, you should be able to subtract from the correct coinage on your sheet and then
yep,
have it.
that's what I'm doing.
Yep.
I'm just letting you know so that way it's like on record or on the books, whatever you want to call it.
Fair enough. In the video.
Yep.
All right, so yeah, you guys spend, maybe an hour or so shopping, finding what you need. You get your wagon and your extra mule, which is stationed up north in the caravan district already anyway. So you just go up there and take care of that. So actually, that probably adds another hour, or well, there and back, so another 2 hours. So okay, so the whole thing takes you about 3 hours.
Okay.
But you
Okay,
guys
so it's
went
still pretty early.
first thing in the morning, though, so it's probably
yeah.
not even noon yet, though.
All right. So yeah, it's still pretty early. And Pico, did you want to do that last thing, or do you not want to? Because that's about all we have left for adventure before we have our 4 days. As long as we have the cart set.
give me a moment. I'm trying to figure out, just making sure I'm not overlooking anything supply-wise.
Oh, did you want to go get your shiny newer clothes?
I was thinking something else, actually. Just trying to make sure that all the bases are covered.
Well, while he's thinking about that, Oreo, you have a dungeon diver, right? Or
Yeah.
delver or whatever.
Mm-hmm.
Go ahead and make me an intelligence check with advantage.
Jeez, worst one. Okay. Regular intelligence check?
Yeah.
Okay.
Okay, that's probably good enough. So, one of the things that you had figured out is in that when you were still at the tomb and you heard the rocks and everything from below, is your dungeoneering senses indicate that there is something below. There's something underneath the floor. Whether it's more tombs or caves or what have you, you don't know. But you're pretty sure something's there.
Sure, does it sound like it's something dangerous that could be attacking us, though?
Well,
'Cause-
the rocks definitely wasn't attacking you. That was some sort of natural event that just happened to
Okay, so
happen while you were in
outside
the area.
outside of the noises of essentially the walls moving or something going out of place, there wasn't any other like sounds of skeletons or anything like that that could have been heard at that time?
No, there wasn't any enemies or anything. There wasn't any shouting or anything. The sound was from pretty far below, though, so obviously it'd be muffled. But it sounded like probably a cave in or a partial cave in or rocks falling from somewhere or whatever. But yeah, it sounded like some natural event.
Okay, so I'll share that piece of detail then to the team. So possibly not super dangerous, but maybe enough that we could potentially scope out with the time we have if you guys really want to go back and check.
Okay. Yeah, I don't mind. We do the thing for Pico, which could be helpful. We do the thing for we might find more treasure.
But when I say that too, I ask Galen for another healer's kit buff then.
All right.
'Cause, like, I'll roll again and then I'll add the 7. So give me a sec.
Sure.
Cool. Okay. And that'll be my use for today.
How come 3? Don't you have 4 hit dice?
All right.
You are correct, but I now have 3 because I used 1, so I'll just change
No, I
the
mean
maximum to
No,
4.
for that
It's your-
ability, it's your maximum number of hit dice is the bonus.
Yeah.
So if you have 4, you get a +4 there, not a +3.
So it should be plus 8.
Yeah.
Got it. Okay, got it. So technically, I should be 1 more hit point up, and then
That's
I'll
right.
add stuff like. Got it. Okay. Thank you, Tyler.
All right, I want to go ahead and sell my tent.
Okay. Yep. Let me look up what that's worth real quick. There it is. Okay. So yeah, you go to sell your tent, and where are you selling that?
I guess I'll go to that place where we've been picking up our weapons and stuff like that.
Okay, fair enough. And yeah, you go, and he seems to sell a limited selection of survival supplies, which obviously would include tents. So yeah, he's willing to take your tent. Have you ever used it?
I have not. It's just always stayed bundled up.
Okay, so he's willing to give you 10 silver for the tent.
Alrighty.
And then he looks at you. Is there anything else you need?
Let's see. Do you happen to have any silk rope?
I believe so. Let me double check here. There it is. Yes, we do have 50 feet. We have bundles of 50 feet of rope, silk rope, for 70 silver.
70 silver? Yeah, it's probably worth having a bit more of that. Oh, wow, that actually pushes me over a little bit. Dang it. Well, actually,
You can throw it in the cart.
yeah, I guess that's technically true.
And it says you got lucky there. The rope is actually on sale today. Normally it's 100 silver.
Alrighty, well, that's handy.
Hemp rope is also on sale. That'll cost you 7 silver if you want to go the hemp route. It's a lot cheaper. You know, versus 70.
But it's also heavier to carry. I think weight is what we were looking at.
Yeah, I like the quality of the silk rope better. Such a double climbing distance. I guess I can make up my encumbrance by getting rid of the leather armor, since I should be needing that a lot less these days. I'll probably throw that on the cart.
Fair enough.
And I forget, how much did you say those claws were?
Oh, I apologize, but they were recently purchased by another tabaxi, for that matter. I don't know his name or anything, unfortunately.
Well, that's unfortunate.
Yes, I apologize, but we seem to have an uptick in tabaxi presence lately, so we might be getting more in the future. I check back in a couple of weeks.
Yeah, hopefully it's not like some of those troublemaking ones that were rumored to be here recently.
Well, so far they haven't been too bad, at least not for me. They seem to have more money. Some of them seem to have more money than they know what to do with, though. That's a little strange.
Well, I can't remember when the last time I could have made that claim, if ever. Feels like ages ago.
Well, when you have to work for a living,
All too true. Oh,
Is there anything else you need?
no, I think I'm all set. Thank you very much.
All right then. All right, you leave.
Yeah.
Alrighty. Any other shopping, or are you done for today? And this is to everybody, not just Pico.
I don't think there's anything else I need.
I think I'm okay.
Cool.
I can't think of anything else I really wanted.
Jeremy, just a quick question with the studded leather armor because it says 13 pounds on it. I know that when it's equipped, it's half. So is it on 6 or 7?
6.5. It takes fractions.
Okay, dokie. Thank you.
What you can do, though, instead of changing the weight, put the real weight in there, but for the number of them, put 0.5. And that way you have the real weight in case you ever take it off, and the 0.5 just means you have it equipped.
Got it. Okay, dokie. I got that. Thank you.
Yep, no problem.
But yeah, on my end, I'm pretty much good to go here, guys. So there's
All right,
that.
excuse me. Alrighty. In that case, I will close the shop catalog. And so, what are you guys going to do next?
I guess one last question is how much is it to top off a week of rations and water skins again?
It is. It's listed above. It's 20 silver pieces for a box of rations, which gives you a week, and 10 silver pieces for a water barrel.
All right, so 30 total. I just wanted to make sure to update my personal supplies,
Sure.
which I mean, I technically still had a few days left, but I'm just gonna, I guess, eat the
You
difference.
got a higher quality. Yeah, you got a higher quality with some bacon in there or something.
I would actually recommend that if you have the money, that everybody does that, so that you're not,
Yeah.
digging into your supplies right away. In fact, you guys can pool your rations, and so you have fewer people having to actually buy more or something like that if you wanted to.
Actually, that shouldn't change anything because everybody still needs to eat the same amount.
Okay.
I mean, who pays for it could vary, but of course, I think Oreo already covered most of our consumption needs.
Fair enough. Okay, so you've taken
Uh,
care. Oh, go ahead.
One last thing. I forgot about this, but
No
it's
problem.
to Tyler because I had listed it in here, but I don't know if you still needed this. I just called the medicinal herbs. I know that you also
Oh,
wanted
yes.
stuff for your like the magical essence for the familiar too. Did you get that?
Yeah, I've got 9 things of incense for the
Incense,
summoning.
that's what it was. Okay,
Yeah.
but yeah, for the medicinal
Yeah,
herbs
I
though.
was thinking medicinal herbs. Like last time, we had to try and whip up some herbalism medicine to cure Oreo. So if we have some various medicinal herbs, we might be able to, whip up a anti-venom or an anti-poison in case we come across something like that
Is that what you're looking for
again.
now?
Yeah, that's
Yes.
the last thing that we
Oh,
were just
okay.
gonna. Yeah.
Yeah, if you go to like an apothecary or something like that, and you're basically asking for a variety of medicinal herbs where you can make, so you can do stuff on the fly.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
They're willing to give you essentially a box full of herbs that would allow you to make 10 things for what was it? 150 silver.
Word. Okay.
So 15
100
gold.
And that box weighs a pound. And most of that's the box.
Do you want to take care of that then, Ragu?
Yeah, got it.
Now, depending on what it is you're trying to take care of, there's no guarantee that you'll be able to make it.
Yeah,
But at least you'll have what you can get.
correct. That's the point. So that at least we can't say that we are running on no
Yeah,
herbs of any kind, but we have something to MacGyver on the way.
yeah, and depending what it is, you might still have to get something from the environment or something. But at least it'll just be that, and it won't be the whole, the whole set of ingredients.
Yeah. But you also took care of it in gold right there, right, Tyler?
Yes, 15
15
gold.
gold? Yep. Okay,
Yep.
cool. Just want to be sure. Alrighty. Then yeah, that is officially my last thing. Sorry, Jeremy.
Okay, fair enough. No problem. No, good to get it all out of the way, and so everybody's satisfied. All right, so now you finished your shopping, you got your wagon taken care of, you packed everything up. If you're wanting to transfer stuff to the wagon, like armor, like Pico was talking about, just go ahead and do that. So once you've finished all that, it's still not even noon yet. So what are you going to do next?
We got two
Pico?
options. Either the thing with the that we've been talking about with Pico or the caves. So what do you guys feel like doing?
I don't know which one sounds more interesting.
I would think the one that's more helpful to the whole party would be you, Pico.
They-
He has a point.
Okay,
Oh, lead the way then.
so what are you guys doing?
I'm assuming Ragu's gonna lead us out to the area that is anticipated to be the spot.
So
Yeah, I'm pulling up my notes. Yep, out of the south gate we come to an old crone's house named Kala.
All right, so you leave the south gate, and you see that there's a road leaving. There's houses and structures, that spill out from the city. And if you were to continue going along the road, you would come across farms and the like. There's at least one tavern on the outside, although it's a fairly small place. People generally want to get inside the walls. So now that you're out of the gate, what are you going to do?
I'm assuming that Gimbal gave me, decent directions to her house.
Well, he told you that there's rumors of her out the southern gate, but he doesn't know exactly where she lives.
Okay, we're just gonna go out the southern gate and maybe ask some of these little farm patches on the way.
Okay, what do you ask him?
Have you heard of an old lady named Kala who lives somewhere out here?
Kala. Do you have any more information? It sounds vaguely familiar.
What information did Gimbal give me? Like I said, I only have out the south
The old
gate.
crone, her helping people with special powers like telepathy in exchange for a favor. That's about all they told you.
Okay.
So what do you?
Oh yeah, I'll go ahead and. But she's an old crone. She occasionally helps people out for favors and does all sorts of just
Oh, you're
individualized
talking
things.
about that old bat.
Yeah.
She's a weird one. She is. Some people say that she has these powers. I'm not sure I believe it. But anyway, I can direct you to her place. She doesn't really live with the rest of us. She lives off on her own. And for some reason, the creatures out here don't seem to bother her very much. But anyway, if you go back toward the city a bit and when you get to a large granary-looking building, and there's a dirt path going off to the east into the forest. You follow that, and you'll come across a valley, and she lives in the valley.
Okay.
All right, so is that what you're gonna do?
Yeah, about how far is that? Just a couple hours travel.
Probably
Not
about
even that?
2 hours or so on foot.
Okay. Mm,
All right.
Yep. Leave us
So
at that direction.
you make the journey, and as you approach the valley, it is a bunch of ground fog that shrouds the valley, and the path kind of leads, and then kind of turns a bit to the north, and then leads you into this foggy area, and up ahead, you see what looks like an old shack. You can see a window, but it's hard to make out in the fog. But you see what looks a lot like bones sticking out of the ground to the. Oh, sorry, I'm on the wrong thing. To the east, and you notice black birds squawking nearby. And as you look to the north, you see what looks like old bones on the porch, and and then you see trees. You see a couple of looks like dead trees, and you hear the birds squawking in the distance. So what are you gonna do?
Am I supposed to see a map right now?
Yes.
I just see a white screen again.
If there's just a white one, you'll probably have to refresh, because even if you can't see anything, you should get a big black box.
We'll refresh again then.
Yeah, it's the same problem you had last time. So whatever you did to fix it, you should do again.
Okay.
Can I get Char?
Sure.
Thank you.
You notice that Char is on your shoulder, and you can feel his claws digging into your skin a bit, and he doesn't seem to want to move.
Oh, since he's right here on my shoulder, it's like, what is it, my friend? You're having bad sensations, eh?
He caws, and then you get he basically you get the sense of bones.
Oh, you're not liking this place of death. It's scaring.
All
And
right.
just to be sure, we can see, I mean, what we can currently see is, even with the fog, is still valid, or are we supposed to only see limited
No,
visibility?
you can see it is limited already. It's like 120 units or whatever. So it gets darker as you go further up north. But yeah, you can see what you can see. This isn't
Okay.
this isn't as thick as the fog you've been to, like the magic fog.
Right.
This feels
Okay.
the fog itself feels more natural, even if a bit thick.
Can I see if there's any tracks of any sort around us?
Sure, go ahead and make a survival check.
Never mind.
The fog is actually the fog would actually give you disadvantage anyway, due to obscuring your vision, kind of like dim light. But that doesn't matter because due to the fog, you don't notice anything anyway.
Cool.
Well, as we go up and knock on the door, is the spooky lady, and it's definitely spooky. I'm sure we're in the right place.
Yeah, I'll let you guys do that introduction. I'm just gonna stake out around here just to check how things are, so don't mind me. I'm gonna go ahead and stealthily make my way around and just check the place out.
This
Okay.
reminds me of the thick coastal fogs of Eastern Ladder Wind that the Empire of Zar used to cover their invasion. Of course,
Say
it
heads up,
also
man.
reminds you of the thick fogs that caused them heavy losses when they were finally being pushed out of Eastern Ladder Wind. Live by the sword, you die by the sword.
Definitely.
All right, Ragu. So what are you doing?
I'm thinking we're gonna go up. Is anybody coming with? I know Oreo's off to the side though.
Yep.
But
So far, everybody seems to be hanging back. Oreo, you notice to the north a bit. You notice more bones sticking out of the ground, and a large black bird pecks at the bones.
Yeah. I just give that kind of an expression, but quietly, and I just still kind of watch the guys kind of make their way
All
there.
right. Sorry to interrupt. Ragu, as you approach, you see old humanoid bones on the wooden pouch, seemingly melded partially with the rotten wood. Bright white animal bones can be seen toward the back. They appear to be carefully arranged. Though dirty, the chipped window you can see through the chipped window into a wooden room inside the building. A bookcase holds tattered, stained scrolls. A faded carpet covers the center of the room. Multiple wooden doors are visible. And yeah, that's about all you can see from there. Oreo, sorry I interrupted. What were you saying?
No, I was just saying that she gives the kind of expression, but quietly to herself, seeing what she sees, and then I'm assuming I would have suspected that Pico's right there. I thought Pico was gonna go inside with Ragu.
yeah.
Well, I was curious to see what you're investigating, and so there's bones here.
Yeah,
Well, there's
up here.
bones ahead, yeah. It's up there, but there's nothing like it's. If it wasn't for what was it? What kind of bird is it that you
A
said it was?
large black bird was standing on the bones, pecking at them.
Yeah, but it's not like I mean, yeah. So I mean, as far as I can tell, it's just very odd looking, but nothing's poking out the ground. I'm still gonna stay where I'm at. I'm not gonna try and engage or anything. But I figured if you're gonna be the one trying to get this ability or whatever it might be, you might want to be in there with Ragu.
Yeah, but on the other hand, if we're walking into some sort of trap, maybe we'd want to know something about that. So I'm curious if we can get an idea of how that individual over there died.
All right, but okay. So if I've already made my stealth check, do I have to make another if I want to really just be careful as we get closer?
No, you already made it. So nothing's changed for you. Or Pico though, if he wants to stealth, would have to make one.
Glancing around, do I see anything that seems
You see the black birds, flying around, pecking at the bones, cawing. But other than
Considering
that, you don't see anything.
considering the person we're trying to meet is sketchy as it is, I don't know what kind of eyes she has out here, so that's why I haven't tried to stealth.
Yeah, that's fair. All right, Raku, what are you doing?
I'm actually just kind of waiting. I'm not gonna get up on the porch or knock or nothing yet. I'm just gonna kind of stand here, looking around. And I already saw what I could see in there. If I hear anything, I've got Char with me for hearing and sight perception, but I'm basically kind of staying in the front area here. If the lady just comes to the door and says, "I see you," or something.
By the way, Raku, when you stepped over to look through the window and you saw the woman there, you saw the lit stove lighting up the room. You probably saw the faded couch covered in dust except for one small area. And the woman herself winked at you as you looked in the window
Ew.
and then moved back.
I didn't know that I'd gotten up on the porch to see
You
in the
didn't.
window.
As far as I can tell, you just moved to the side, but you had eyesight to her. So
Okay.
for that
Oh.
moment, she winked at you.
All right. And yeah, I just kind of gesture my head over to Pico and it's like, yeah, she knows.
From my distance, can I see what kind of bones are on the ground? Like, is it
Yep. So
humanoid or is it?
these are definitely human bones. And behind the building are some sort of animal bones, some sort of large animal. And as far as the human
Yeah.
bones go, you can tell that the whatever clothes there's tattered bits of clothing, whatever killed him ripped his clothes apart or her clothes.
And the bird, I'm assuming is staying put because it hasn't seen me, or it's
Yeah, he's just there. He seems to be pecking at the bone. You see, one of the femurs has a bunch of cracks in it, and he's pecking at it. And it looks like if he keeps at it, he's going to break it apart.
got it. Okay, well, does would the bird have a line of sight to me then or something just to kind of be like I'm keeping an eye out, let Ragu know
He
or
could
something?
see you if he looked up. If he but you haven't seen any indication that it's noticed you.
Okay.
All right, so I guess you guys don't see anything, so you guys can carry on. I'm just gonna stay put.
Okay. I look over at Pico and kind of nod.
Are you sure about this place?
I trust Gimbal.
And what did he say about this again?
That merely that she's an old crone that sometimes will give you abilities for a favor.
Uh,
I've told you a couple of times, literally, that's all I have on my notes.
Ragu, you would also remember that he told you that um, um, that sometimes she would grant telepathy or other powers, and he also told you that for some reason, everybody who's granted powers suddenly wants to leave the city.
Okay, yeah, that might be the reason to check out for danger. But yeah, it's just to go talk to the lady, and if you decide not to do her favor, then we don't have to. But this is just a possibility to investigate.
it's better not be one of those an offer you can't refuse sort of situations.
I sincerely hope not. But if that is the case, then we will most definitely have to refuse. Anyway, are you ready?
Sure.
Step up, and I knock on the door
As soon as
very
you
respectfully.
place a foot on the porch, you hear a croaky voice. Don't be shy. Come on in. And the door slowly opens. And she gestures towards you. Come in. Have a seat.
Hello, Miss Kala. My name is Ragu, and a very good friend of mine, Mr. Gimbal, had said that you might be able to help us, maybe. So
Oh,
we
I
have
can
come
help
just
all
to speak.
sorts of people. What is it that you need, Mr. What would you say your name was?
Ragu.
Ragu.
My name is.
That has a interesting name to it, or ring to it. Ragu. Maybe you can be my best friend. What can I do for you?
Well, actually, my friend Pico here. Maybe you can explain better what you are wanting.
Well, as I'm sure you're familiar, druids have the ability to take on the form of wildlife. And of course, while in that form, they're limited by the communication abilities of the that particular wildlife form, which can be make it difficult to communicate under certain high stress situations. And Ragu's friend Gimbal said that you may have some way to overcome that limitation.
She scratches her chin. It's like, well, I don't know this Gimbal, but he must know me, or at least know of me, and I can indeed help you with your problem. But unfortunately, I I need some help in return. You see, in order to help you with this, there's something I need. Um, the eyeballs of a rather large insectoid creature. And I happen to know where you can find these creatures. And if you bring me back 3 of their eyeballs, and then you can, then I will be happy to help you.
What are these creatures?
Oh, I don't know what they're called, but they are large. They're basically large insects. They live in the ground, and if you get close, they will come out of the ground. They eat animals that way, and you simply need to take out one of these insects and take their eyes and bring them back.
Very far.
Alright.
Okay. And what? So, as far as being able to help, assuming we bring this back, what form does that take?
Oh, I would concoct a special brew, and you and whoever it is that you wanted to talk to, whoever you're close to, you would all consume the brew, and it would awaken the abilities your mind already has, and you'd be surprised at what you can do.
Are there any limitations or side effects?
Mm, most people survive. I think if you survive, you should be fine. As far as
That's true.
limitations, I think you have to be within. You can't be too far apart, and you know. But I can't think of anything else.
So, where do we find these creatures?
She gives you directions off in the forest, and there's basically a road that passes by an area where these creatures are tend to be found, and she tells you how to find the road.
All right. And you said that this was a brew, so we would just get bottles of this stuff that we can consume.
Yes, you would. I would make it, and you would all consume it here while I have a special chant that unlocks the abilities.
Alrighty then.
Okay.
All right. Well, I guess we'll go see if we can find your eyeballs.
Thank you very much, lady.
Of course.
I kind of bow out.
Oh, and if you happen to can grab a couple of extra eyeballs, that would be helpful. So I can make some other things.
Just the eyeballs?
Yeah, the other parts aren't very useful.
Okay. Thank you.
Of course. And make sure not to die.
We'll try our best.
Say that again.
We'll try our best, I said.
Okay. All right. So, are you gonna go following or looking for this road, or are you gonna go somewhere else?
We can go look for the road.
Okay.
Yeah.
So, Devok, what do you think of this lady?
Good question. I don't know. Seems okay. Relatable, I guess.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
You'll need your creature. There you go. All right, so you find the road, and you find a fairly nice-looking area of the forest. It's fairly the trees are fairly thick, and there were certain signs in the environment that she passed on to look for, and so it looks like these insect creatures probably live over in this area. So, what do you do?
They tunnel in the ground and come up, she said, eh?
Yeah, she said they come up if you get close. That's how they eat their animals or their prey.
I kind of kneel down and get my head close to the ground. Do I hear or feel any vibrations going through the ground?
You do coming from this way.
I think we have some over there.
Oh shoot. I forget. Did she say how big a creature it was these things would eat?
She did not.
Well, apparently they eat human-sized. So I'm guessing they are either medium or possibly large, if they can eat a medium person.
They're probably quite big, unfortunately.
Well, shall we throw a rock over and see if we can get their attention?
I would be surprised if they were that dumb. You'd figure a creature that's hunting from underground wouldn't want to trigger prematurely just because something knocked something around.
Well, it doesn't sound like you guys asked how smart these insects were either, so you don't know.
And I suppose I can whip up a prestidigitation to start making a semi-rhythmic but a little bit organic thumping noise right here on the the base of the tree root, as if it was like maybe a woodpecker pecking.
Okay, you do so,
I got
and it starts making that noise, and you do that for a little while, but nothing seems to be happening.
If I had the ability to like raise zombies and stuff, I would just roll over, but I don't. So I don't know.
I think you gained that next level, but I could be wrong. Oh wait, no, it might be a level longer than that because you're multi-class, but it's coming. All right, so yeah, the sound goes for a minute or whatever, and nothing happens. So what do you do next?
I think I'm going to go ahead and cast Mage Armor.
Okay, you do so. I take it that means you already put away your leather armor?
Yeah.
Okay.
That thing there is a tree, right? This thing?
Yeah, it's a large tree. Basically, so are these. It's only showing the trunks. You can kind of see the leaf shadows here. It's just to kind of give that shadowed kind of large tree presence kind of thing.
How tall is it?
Probably this one's probably about 20 feet.
Okay, and you said that the noise was coming roughly around here?
Yeah, so probably from about here.
Alright, well, watch my back, guys. I'm gonna start running all the way up the tree.
Okay.
Okay. You go ahead. And, oh no, you're tabaxi, so you have climbing speed. Yep.
Yep.
So you climb the tree, no problem.
Are there any changes in sound that maybe they can hear because of me clearly just running and climbing this tree?
You get the sense
Yeah.
that you sense some sort of sound coming from this way and from this way as well as over here.
Be drawing a crowd. It just needs them to come up. Hey, maybe you could scoop them out of the earth?
I don't think it'll be that
Talking,
easy.
we can't hear you. Pico, if you're talking, we can't hear you.
I wasn't talking.
Oh, well, I just suggested maybe you can scoop them out of the earth.
I suppose I can try that. So where do I want to try and dig?
The spot right here seems to be the first one. And then there's another one over here somewhere and one down here somewhere. But this is the one that's remained reasonably still in the first one we were able to spot.
All right, well, I guess I'll try digging in this hex first, then this one, then this one.
Okay.
And I'll be deliberately making like thumping noises and stuff on the tree, trying to get attention, essentially.
Okay. So you dig over here, and suddenly you hear the ground shake, and all of a sudden, this large creature bursts from the ground. It's basically it looks a lot like I mean, it's definitely a large insect. You can see it has multiple legs, it's got claws, it's got many, many eyes, and it erupts from the ground, and then you see it vibrating quickly. And I need everybody to roll initiative.
How big is the creature?
Um, it's large, so probably. Actually, let me just look at it. I don't know. I'm going to say it's probably about 10 feet tall or so.
Okay.
Okay, let me finish rolling here. Grouping it. And did I roll for this guy already? I did not. All right, has everybody rolled?
Yeah.
Alrighty then, so this is round one. Pico, you see the creature that erupted out of the ground early due to your spell. So what are you going to do?
All right, well, let's see what kind of mess we're dealing with. So I'm going to go ahead and move forward. I am going to go ahead and slash at it with my main claw.
Okay, your claw bounces off its carapace,
Oh, wow.
and your second claw bounces off its carapace.
All right, and I'm going to go ahead and actually back up.
All right, is that the end of your turn?
Yep, that's pretty much it.
All right, you see the creature go back underground just to pop up right next to Ragu. And at this point, Ragu, it's going to attempt to bite you and potentially pull you into its hole. It should not have advantage, so that's a 10, meaning it misses. Fortunately for you. And Oreo, you can see one of those creatures has popped out, but you get the distinct impression that there are other sounds of probably other creatures in the vicinity. What are you going to do?
Yeah, so just to get back down, I'm assuming there's no penalty in speed, right? Because I'm just jumping down essentially.
Yeah.
So I will jump down and then get into flank position. So there.
Okay.
And attack with rapier.
Go for it. That's a hit. Right in between its various blades, doing 9 points plus 5, so 14 points of damage. It's going to be a good hit.
Bonus attack is to I can only take one weapon out, so I'll use my claws for the second attack.
Okay.
Or that's not second attack, but offhand.
Sure. That's a hit
Whoops.
as well.
Oh yeah.
Yeah,
fine.
that's fine. That's the first one hit. So all right, so that's a 3. And as you start attacking it, you manage to tear off part of the carapace, and acid starts spraying all around it. So Ragu and Oreo and I guess Char, go ahead and make a Dex saving throw. Okay. Ragu, that's a 12, I believe.
Yeah, that shouldn't have been advantage.
So yeah, I think the DC is 15, so that would mean
And at this point in time, I would like to use my arcane deflection for my dexterity save, giving myself a +4 to the 12, making it a 16 total.
okay. Well, you still have to go ahead and make it for Char, and Oreo, go ahead.
I
And
was going to say, Char's on my shoulder. Does it count as him riding me, or you still want me to make a separate one?
That's true. Okay, that's fine. We'll say he stays on your shoulder. And Ragu, did you make Oreo? Did you make yours?
Yeah, it's up right up before Ragu's.
Oh, that's the 9. All right. So acid sprays all over you, doing 11 points of damage as your fur burns. Is that the end of your turn?
Ouch.
Mm-hmm.
All right, Ragu. You narrowly dodged the acid that started spraying suddenly once Ragu hit the creature. What are you gonna do?
Char is going to fly way up here out of the way, the top of the tree is well out of reach, I take it?
Yeah.
Okay, and he can fly down whenever I need him.
Okay.
Since Oreo's there, I've got flanking, so I'm going to haul off.
Go for it.
All right. Yeah.
That's a hit.
All right. That should have been with advantage.
You can roll again just to see if you crit.
Okay.
Okay, not quite a crit,
Close.
but it's definitely a hit. Go ahead.
All right.
All right, good.
10 points.
10 points. Big hit.
All right. And then follow-up punch.
All right. Yeah, you smack him, and that definitely hurts him. All right. So he is now at less than half health. Is that the end of your turn?
That is.
All right, Devok, you see one of the creatures being flanked by Ragu and Oreo at less than half health. What are you going to do?
I will step back and then shoot it.
Okay.
No,
That should be
oh, wait.
a 17.
17.
Or do you have disadvantage on?
I did by accident. Sorry.
Okay, so that does hit.
Damage.
All right, so it looks like 2 points. Is that the end of your turn?
Yeah.
All righty. So at this point in time, I guess Oreo. Suddenly, a creature erupts behind you, Oreo, attempting to grab you from above. With a 24, so that hits. So it bites into you, doing 12 points of damage, 2 of which is acid, burning into your fur, and you are now grappled. It is currently holding you, but it is clear that it intends to pull you into its hole at its first opportunity. And I guess put that guy there. All right, we're at the beginning of round 2. So, Pico, you can see that Oreo is currently being held by one of the creatures. Ragu is smacking the other one. What are you going to do?
All right. Well, I think I need to charge into battle here. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 should put me there. I'm gonna go ahead and change into a brown bear
Okay.
and start.
You should be able to drag it over. Do you need me to do it?
No, hold on. I can do it. All right. That's weird. There we go. And I'll just park over here. All right. Let's see. Let me go ahead and fix the hit points. There we go. All right. So first item of business, I'm going to go ahead and claw this. Wow. And I'm going to bite it.
You do successfully bite it.
Oh, I guess I should roll damage.
All right, so yeah, bite it for a good 12 points of damage. Unfortunately, your mouth is right on it, so I'm going to need you to make a Constitution save. All right. So the acid, as you bite into it, the acid runs down your throat, doing 6 points of damage. But you did successfully bite it. Is that the end of your turn?
Yeah.
All right. This thing here is, you notice that it drop into its hole, and you can see it digging underground.
So Ragu doesn't get an opportunity attack?
It's a good point. He did move. Yeah, she's got a point. Go ahead and attack, Ragu.
Okay. No. Oh, there we go.
That's a hit. So go ahead and roll damage.
All right.
So yep, it wasn't enough to finish it off, so it was able to successfully tunnel, but you did some parting damage on the way. All right, Oreo, you are currently grappled. You can try to escape by making an athletics check with the DC of 13.
I realize that it's not quite on the turn yet, but can Char fly down to help Oreo or no?
I'm not
That's
sure
on
how
you.
it could help in this case,
Yeah.
because it's got her tight. All it might do is whip her around, but I don't think it's gonna help her in this case.
Can I make the
Okay.
argument of using acrobatics because she might want to like squeeze her way out of the grip?
That's a successful argument, sure.
So it's just a plain one, right? So
And you succeed, which means you have squeezed out and you hit the ground. That's essentially going to take your action. You do still have a bonus action, and you still have movement.
gonna go ahead and take my bonus action and disengage and go this way.
Fair enough.
That's it.
All right, Ragu. The first creature has gone underground. There is a tunnel there. And although you suspect it'll probably pop up at some point. And then there's a creature that the Pico is attacking. What are you going to do?
Okay, I'm going to go around the hole
Okay.
and come up to flanking position.
Yep.
And attack.
All right, that is a hit. All right, you 12 points of damage to it, and as you do so, you basically rip off some of the or cause some of the carapace to come off. Acid sprays. So I'm going to need Pico and Ragu to make a DC 15 Dex save. Okay, Ragu makes it. And Pico takes 4 points of acid damage. I rolled pretty low. And you guys have figured out now that this happens the first time a substantial amount of damage is done to the creature. Follow-up hits don't cause this to happen. Is that the end of your turn?
A follow-up.
Okay, that does not hit. But you have advantage, so go ahead and roll again. The second one might hit.
You are correct.
That one does hit. Okay, a solid 7 points of damage. Is that the end of your turn?
That is.
All right, Devok, you can see that one of the insect creatures is surrounded. The other one is currently in its hole. What are you going to do?
I'll move and then shoot it.
Go for it. And you guys have figured out by now that its AC is 14. So that's a hit.
You should have advantage, but yeah.
Go ahead and roll again just in case you get a crit.
Okay.
Nope. but close.
Very close.
Alrighty, this guy is surrounded, but he is going to attempt to grab Ragu and drag him into his hole, so let's see if he succeeds. With a 14, he does not. Alright, and unfortunately for Oreo, she picked the exact wrong place to run to, because the thing was actually already underground there, so it bursts up and attempts to bite and grab her. With a 22, it is successful, so Oreo takes another 13 points of damage and is currently in the thing's jaws.
I'm actually dead, so there's that.
Well, he'll start making death saves, but you're not actually dead yet.
No, I'm letting everybody else know that I'm down.
Okay.
Yeah, good points.
Okay.
We're at now round 3. Oreo is limply in the thing's jaws. She is limp and not moving. So what are you gonna do, Pico?
All right. Well, I'm gonna bite at this one in order to disengage.
Okay, go for it. And that is a hit for another solid 12 points of damage.
All right, and now, actually, what does it take to do a grapple?
So yeah, if Oreo were awake, she could try to break free. Your best bet, I think, would be to do enough damage that it drops her, so that it can, that it focuses on you, or you knock it basically out of its grasp, that kind of thing.
So, like, trying to grapple it to make it let her go,
He could grapple it, but that doesn't necessarily make it let her go. It would keep it from taking her into its hole, though.
Could I grab her and try to pull her away?
You could. If it does any damage to her, though, she'll suffer 2 death saves. Because that's what happens if you take melee damage if you're making death saves.
And let's see. So
Well, it's got great big huge jaws. You couldn't just grab the jaws and try and push them open. Or, I don't know. I'm just reaching the straws here to help you.
Well, I don't think the jaws are what are. Well, wait a minute.
Yeah, it's currently in her jaws. Or in its jaws.
It doesn't use its claws or something to hold them?
No, apparently its planning is to take her, at least this is what you're guessing, to take her into the hole and start eating her. But yes, the bite attack is the one that does the grappling.
And I can see the hole under it, right?
Yeah.
Okay, I've got a different idea then. I'll go ahead and try and slash at the thing.
Okay. You succeed. Okay, so a solid 10 points of damage.
And I'm going to muscle my way under it and try and park in its hole.
Okay, fair enough. You do so. And we'll see how well that works on its turn. All right. Devok, suddenly, right where you are, this creature bursts from the ground, attempting to grab you, to bite and grab you. Does a 15 hit?
No.
In that case, you dodge out of the way pretty easily. Oreo, go ahead and make your first death save. Okay, you make it. Ragu, you see that Devok is being attacked, and you are currently fighting. The creature you're currently fighting is at less than half health, and Oreo is still limply in the creature's jaws to the north. What are you going to do? Ragu.
Char's gonna fly over here. Give me the help action, fluttering its face or something.
Okay.
and then fly back up here to a branch safely out of reach. And I am going to have to attack this one. Otherwise, it's a disengage and waste the action.
Okay, go for it. That's a hit. Another solid hit for
points.
10 points of damage.
And then follow up.
Another hit. Which would not have had advantage in this case, but that's okay. The 17 hit.
The 17. Yeah, sorry.
Yeah, no problem. All right, is that the end of your turn?
That does not kill it.
It does not kill it. It looks like it's badly hurt, but it's still there. Maybe a bit less than a third of its health. Actually,
I still
definitely a
can't.
bit less than a third of its health.
I still can't move, but okay. Yeah, that'll be where I have to be. Yeah.
Fair enough. Davok, this creature burst out of the ground, attempting to grab you with its claws. What are you going to do?
So, let's see. 1 second. Do you guys think I should use a spell slot? Think it's worth it here? Probably.
If it saves your life, definitely.
All right, let's use this.
Okay, so you're going to make one of these shadowy hands right next to the creature you're attacking?
Yeah,
Okay.
it'll hit it.
Yeah, it says on a hit.
Yeah, it
so
says
you'll
on.
have to hit.
I roll.
Your spell attack. So it would be a d20 plus whatever your spell bonus is.
Okay. Brilliant.
Oh, wow.
Oh, wow.
Unfortunately, that is not enough because their AC is 14.
Then, because that's a bonus action, I will. Let's see.
You get disadvantage from ranged attacks. Obviously, melee attacks are normal.
Yeah. I wish I would have known that when I made my character because I didn't give him any touch spells.
Ah.
Do you have a main weapon, or are you set on daggers?
I have a spear, but it does like 1d6 damage. I guess it's better than nothing. So I guess I'll just try to stab it.
Okay.
No.
Nope. It unfortunately bounces off his carapace. Is that the end of your turn?
I guess so.
So you didn't do your spell then? Was that because it was a ranged one?
Yeah, because I don't have any touch spells.
All right.
All right. So the creature next to you, Ragu, is going to attempt to bite and grab you. With a 22, that is a success, unless you have something to negate that.
I'm actually going to proc shield and burn a spell slot.
Okay, you save yourself 15 points of damage and from being grappled. All right, definitely a good use of a spell slot. All right, Ankhead 3 is attempting to go into its hole, finding its way blocked. So what I'm going to do is do I guess a contest of strength. So its strength versus yours, Pico, or the bears, really.
Mm-hmm.
So it managed to roll a 22.
I crit failed that. Or well, I guess it's technically
It's just a normal
failure,
fail.
Yeah.
Before we move on, you can use a fate point to re-roll that if you so wish. If not, we'll continue.
Sure.
Okay. So you're attempting to fill the hole to keep it from going in, but but it kind of wiggles and forces itself down. Apparently, there's more to the creature than you can see, enough of it to pull it in, and it actually pulls you into the hole with it, somewhat widening it in the process. And it has now gone underground with.
Well, in that case, I'm taking an opportunity attack against it.
All right, yeah, it sounds reasonable. Go for it. Okay. It has pulled Oreo into the hole. However, you know that because it had to struggle against the bear, that used its action, so it is unable to start eating. All right, beginning of round 4. Pico, you are currently dragged into the hole with the creature. So what are you going to do?
I actually get to the creature.
You can.
All right. Well, I am going to just start. Well,
I'm going to go ahead and move it up so you guys can see it, even though it's under in the hole, so you can see its health and everything. And I'll do the same for
I
Oreo.
could move the thing out of the way for the moment.
I think you also removed me from order when you deleted me. Oh, there it is. Okay, just gonna say because
No,
I
you're
still
still
have
there.
to.
You were just in the GM layer, but I
Okay,
decided to
gotcha.
put you guys back because you guys know he's in the hole, and that way you
Mhm.
guys can see what's going on. Anyway, go ahead,
Okay.
Pico.
Well, I am going to go ahead and I'm going to try and grapple the thing.
Okay, go ahead and make an athletics check versus its strength check. So you need to get at least a 21.
Serious. Wow. Although, hold on. It looks like that should be a. Well, yeah. I guess that. Oh wait. How would that? Okay, hold on. I gotta. This will get a little complicated here. Two. Okay, so this will get a little bit tricky. I'm gonna roll the athletics check, but it's gonna get a +4 because of the bear's strength.
Okay, no problem.
So that
That is a
becomes a 20.
success. So yeah, you have grappled the Ankeg, which has Oreo grappled. What now that it's grappled, that's your action. But however, you still have movement. If you're holding something, or if you grapple something, you can only move at half movement. So what are you going to do?
Let's see. Well, for what it's worth, according to this, using the attack action to do the grapple, if you're able to make multiple attacks, the attack action, this attack replaces one of them. So
Yep.
I can conceivably pull it out of its hole, with half movement, and then go ahead and
Just
take another.
FYI though, Dave, before you decide to do that, this creature hasn't been hit that hard yet for the acid attack to happen. If that shit hits me, I'm dead. It's
All
2
right.
death saves. So
That's a very good point. So what I am going to do instead then is I'm going to pull it out of the hole.
Fair enough.
And I want to park it such, since basically it's facing away from me. Well, let me just draw a little thing here real quick. I'm trying to aim for Oreo being right there, and the critter being right there, and me being right there.
Fair enough.
Oh, yeah, actually, Oreo should be a little closer to Ragu. I kind of drew those wrong, but basically, I want to make sure she's next to Ragu so that if he's going to try and pull off any heroism, he's got an opportunity to do that.
Fair enough. I'm going to go ahead and move this Ankhead over a little, and I'm going to move this one over a little. We got the idea, just so we can kind of see everybody. All right, so you do so.
All right.
Is that the end of your turn?
Actually, is Ankheg 1 in range of me?
You'd have to move over one more hex.
Yeah, I'll go ahead and do that. Oops. So basically, I just want to be able to take a swipe at it instead, but still trying to keep Oreo in that positioning I was talking about.
Okay. Yeah, fair enough. Unfortunately, you do. No, you do hit it. I'm sorry. It's a 14. Yep. So you hit.
All right, so 10 to Ankeg 1. That's
So a solid hit. It's almost dead, but it is still alive.
all right. That's all I can do.
Fair enough. So Ankeg 1. It is. It basically dives into its hole and moves. Oreo, make another death save. So you failed one and you made one. All right. Ragu. Oreo is nearby. It's still being held by the Ankheg to the north. Pico, however, is holding that Ankheg so it can't crawl into its hole. So what are you going to do?
Well, if he's grappling the main body of the Ankeg, I have these great big huge jaws with my friend in it. So I'm going to reach that way and grab the jaws of this thing and do a pry open type maneuver, one leg and two arms, or
Fair
however
enough.
that's going to work.
So what I'm going to have you do then is go ahead and make a probably an athletics check versus its strength, and we'll see what happens.
Does it get disadvantage since it's also having to deal with me?
Already grappled.
I guess so. However, that doesn't change my roll because it always rolls the 2 dice with him because I haven't fixed it, and the 13 is the lower number already.
Oh, okay.
And you succeed. So you rip open the jaws far enough that Oreo falls to the ground, still limp, but out of its jaws. So
Can I use my bonus action?
That was your action.
Yeah,
so what else you got to do?
Yes. Can I use my bonus action to dump a healing potion down her throat?
You can.
All right.
So go ahead and roll for healing. Okay, so she gains back 5 hit points. She's still unconscious, and she can make a Constitution save on her turn to see if she gains consciousness. Is that the end of your turn, Ragu?
That is the end of my turn. However, I am being as cautious as possible so Ankeg 2 doesn't try and just grab her since she's already limp.
Fair enough.
Basically standing over her since I had to pour the potion down her.
Right. Okay. Devok, the Ankeg you were fighting has gone into its hole. You can follow it into its hole. However, you'd be crawling through the hole, and it would definitely it would have the advantage. However, there's also Ankeg 2, which is almost dead, and of course Ankeg 3, which is in the to the north. What are you going to do?
I'll move the shadow hand to Ankeg 2.
Okay.
And
Go for it. And that's a hit.
Yeah.
critical hit. Right.
And at least your spell's not wasted, so that's good.
14.
And that is enough to kill it. It falls to the ground dead.
The other one,
Right.
and it's
Right.
is the other one like? Can I shoot it? Can I see
The
it?
one in the north? Yeah, sure. Go ahead.
Oh, okay. I'll shoot it. Then I'll just.
That's a hit. All right, 6 points of damage. And that is probably not enough yet. Okay, so one of the things you notice is the carapace is starting to crack and break, and probably the next hit will cause it to spray acid. All right, Ankeg 3 is being held by the bear, so its attention is now on the bear, so that's who it's going to attack. With the 22, I believe that's a hit. So you take 14 points of damage, 9 from its bite and 5 from its acid, and it is now grappling you back. All right, we are now on round 5. Pico, your bear form is being grappled by the Ankheg, which you are also grappling, but according to the grapple rules, you can still attack. So what are you going to do?
All right. Well, first thing I'm going to do is use my movement to swing the thing around. I want the Ankheg right here because I want to get it as far away from Oreo before I start laying into the thing.
Fair enough. Good idea.
And now I'm going to go ahead and start fighting it. So I'll go ahead and claw the thing, which is useless. And bite it, which is also useless.
So you're definitely biting on its carapace, but it's too tough and you're unable to get through. All right.
Well, that thing. Shoot, I'm trying to think if
Sorry, what's up?
I'm. Dang it. Okay, I'm going to do a little bit more manhandling of the thing than. Because I haven't actually really gone anywhere. I'm going to go ahead and instead move here and put the Ankheg here so that it's between me and Devok. Oh, wait, no. I'm not going to do that because I just remembered he's all arranged and stuff like that. Crap.
All right, so I put him back. So what are you going to do?
All right, I'm just going to go ahead and drag him a little further away just to give everybody breathing room. So yeah, like that.
All right. Okay. So now back to Ankheg 1, who burst out of the ground to attempt to bite Devok, which I had forgotten previously. Actually gives him surprise. So that's an 18, but that's still not good enough, even with surprise. Oreo, go ahead and make a Constitution save and see if you wake up. You do. You are now conscious, you are prone, and you can spend half your movement to get up if you so wish.
Sure, I'll do that, and then I'm gonna take out my bow and arrow and shoot at the one that's in front of Devok.
All right, let's go for it. You shoot, and it bounces off the carapace.
That's actually
You still have a bonus action, and you
Yep,
can still
that's
got
what
the
I'm
rest of your
thinking.
movement.
I know. Just thinking about that right now. Yeah, I'll do it. So I'm gonna take bonus action to drink one more potion.
Okay,
So I'll do that, but that's the end of my. I'm not moving, so I'm staying put.
fair enough. All right, Ragu, Oreo seems to be safe and conscious at the moment. Ankheg 1 to the south is almost dead. And Pico is manhandling Ankheg 3 and has moved it away, far enough away not to hurt everybody when he starts doing damage. What are you going to do?
Nod at Oreo, knowing that you're still up and good. I look over at Ankheg 1. I think you and Devok have got it. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So we can do that. Flanking procedures.
Yep, go for it.
I'm ready for this. Okay,
You
so
have
we'll have advantage.
And you get a critical hit. All right, so looks like 12 points of damage. And at this point in time, I'm going to need both you and Pico to make a DC 15 dex save.
Figured we can do that.
So Pico
That's a
takes
17.
17. So Pico takes 6 points of damage from acid. All right, Ragu, go ahead and finish up.
Alrighty. Punching the way.
And that works
19. Yeah.
for another solid 5 points of damage. Is that the end of your turn?
That is.
All right, Devok, this creature burst out of the ground, attempted to grab you, but is almost dead. So what are you going to do?
Oh, let's see. I'll move the hand over again.
Okay.
First.
And what are you going to do to hit it?
I'll hit it with
Okay.
24.
So, yeah, that's a hit.
damage.
And somehow it is still not dead.
I'll try my best to stab it.
Okay. And unfortunately, it bounces off its carapace. And I'll just go ahead and tell you, it has 2 hit points left.
My turn.
All right, Ankeg 3 is surrounded and grappled, so it cannot go into its hole. It decides to ignore that, seeing the bear that's almost dead and has hurt it so much. So it's going to attempt to bite it. It succeeds. You take 9 points of damage as your brown bear, which knocks you back into tabaxi form, and the extra damage transfers over. And now we're at round 6. You've just taken, what was that, 5 points of damage to your personal self. So what are you going to do, Pico?
Well, I'm going to go ahead and run over here. Oh, wait, no.
I think it gets an attack of opportunity if you do that, especially since it's not grappled anymore.
Well, I will go ahead and do this first. I was going to rearrange the order, but I guess this doesn't matter so much. All right, I'll use the main attack on whatever. Fine, running. Oh wait, no, that's an advantage. Let me re-roll that.
Go ahead.
Yeah. Flanking for advantage.
There, that's
That's it.
better. 8 points to Ankeg 3.
Okay.
And now I'm going to go ahead and roll the weak one on this. Fine, that hits
Yep.
good.
And it is still alive with 1 hit point.
I'm going to go ahead and use feline agility to get back over here so that Ragu can still have his
Advantage.
advantage.
Fair enough. All right,
Crap.
Ankeg 1 is desperate, so it's going to decide whether to go in the hole or whether to stay up. It decides to go into the hole and try to get another angle.
Opportunity attack Navak.
Go for it.
Okay.
It would be with your spear, I think, so I think that's what you tagged it with last.
Naturally.
All right,
Nope.
it's in the hole. All right, Oreo, you are up. You've consumed 2 healing potions, and Ankeg 1 has gone back into its hole. However, the other one is flanked. What are you going to do?
I'm gonna go into the I don't know exactly where the holes are. I'm gonna try and avoid the holes, but I just want to be on the trail itself
Okay.
and then shoot an arrow at the one that's between Pico and Ragu.
Okay.
You sure you don't want to get into a tree or on at least a tree trunk?
That's a good point. I will, let me see, where was it? I think it was here. So yeah, I'll just get onto a trunk.
Fair enough. And just so you know, you can hit Control Z to undo your last movement. That should work. But anyway, yeah.
Gotcha. Okay, so I'm gonna shoot and oh jeez. All right. Well, that's my turn.
Fair enough. All right, Ragu, you have the thing flanked. What are you going to do?
I'm gonna go ahead and swing away. Let's see.
And
That's a critical hit. I hate your bug. Kaboom.
For a solid 9 points of damage. It's still alive, but just barely. I'll go ahead and just tell you it has 6 hit points.
I follow it up with a punch to the face.
Go for it. And that's a hit. Can you do at least 6 hit points? Yes.
Yes.
You killed it. All right, is that the end of your turn?
Where's the hole again? For old Devaki's buddy? Is that here?
To the south of Devak.
To the south of Devak. Okay, down here.
Yeah.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Not close enough, but I will run over there.
All right. Yeah, you would actually have to get into the hole to reach them, so you can do that next turn.
Yeah.
If you so wish. All right.
I do.
Devak, the Ankeg is in its hole. You could crawl down and attempt to attack it, or not. What are you going to do?
Sounds like suicide. So
You stay up here. It's good.
I'll chill right here. I'll let someone else do the dirty work.
Fair enough. So round 7. Pico, the last ink egg is in its hole, and you know it has 1 hit point left. What are you going to do?
How big is that hole?
10 feet across.
Oh, so it's pretty damn big.
Yeah.
Actually, let's see, 4.
Since we're standing right next to the hole, can we see what direction it goes in?
You can. It's headed in this direction.
Actually, I'm gonna try and climb down into the hole.
You do so, and you see it. I'm going to go ahead and put it on the map so you can see where it is. It's basically over there, but in the hole, and you can see it kind of backing up. But you definitely do have a clear line of sight.
All right, I'm gonna step forward and try and booming blade the thing.
Okay.
Which I guess is still technically just a regular.
Okay, you attempt to do so, but you hit the carapace.
All right, and I'm gonna back up.
Fair enough. And after seeing, so you back up. Do you crawl completely out of the hole, or you're still in the hole?
I'll stay in the hole.
Okay. In that case, it's going to continue moving, but as it does so, it spits acid at you. So you have to make a DC 13 dexterity saving throw to avoid acid, which you do.
Finally, I succeeded something.
So the acid passes by you, which 3d6 not would have been. It definitely would have hurt, and it continued to move. All right, Oreo. The creature is in its hole. You cannot see it from where you are. You would actually have to be in the hole to see it. What are you gonna do?
Yeah, I'm just gonna ready an arrow, so if I see any other creatures, I'll shoot at it.
Okay. Ragu, same for you. You can't see it from where you are. You'd actually have to be in the hole. So what are you gonna do?
Jump down into the hole right next to my friend Pico. And I see the creature right down there.
Yep.
And I let her rip. With
Let what
one
rip?
in each hand. Throw dart.
Okay. First one
That should-
bounces off.
Yeah. Let me click that to normal.
Yep.
And second one, all I have to do is hit.
That hits. And it dies.
Yes.
All right, so that is the end of combat. So let me reset everything. One thing is abundantly clear at this point. Based on how tough those creatures were, it is clear to you now that you weren't meant to survive.
Well, that lady doesn't know us. Maybe she thought we were tougher than we were.
You doubt it. You feel like these creatures would basically take, anyone who's likely to go to her for help, these creatures would have likely destroyed.
Crappity. The lady's setting us up. Supposed to be helpful.
I'm going to go ahead and take you back to the map now, unless there's anything there you wanted to do.
Well, I'm
Yeah.
harvest these eyes, starting with the one underground.
Okay, you do
Yeah.
so. And they're large creatures, so their eyes are basically like softballs.
How many eyes does each one of these things have?
Maybe a dozen.
Oh, geez, yeah. So we can just load up a whole sack.
And each eye is about a pound.
Yeah, I'll carry 24 pounds worth of eyeball just for a little while.
Okay. That's one gross sack, but you do so.
I suggest we take these things to town first and learn a little bit more about them.
Okay. Actually, there's 3 of those creatures, so that's 36 eyes.
Yeah.
Do we have enough room? Anybody got a spare bag? Yeah, I'll carry 36 pounds.
Okay.
And I'd like to scoop up a vial of acid. just because this stuff is nasty. I'm sure it could be helpful.
Sure. All right, you do so. All
Can I get a vial of that too? Can I put one into one of my, because I've got 3 vials. Can I take one for acid too?
Yeah, you can do so.
Cool.
Yeah, I remember you purchasing those in the past. Alrighty, so you're in the forest and you're probably heading along the road back toward the main pathway. So where are you going next?
Well, actually, which way did we have to go out, or was that road near the place, that lady's house or cottage?
It was it wasn't super near. She kind of told you basically had to backtrack a bit and find one of the main roads and one of the and then there's an offshoot that you followed from that. So it's probably
Well,
about an hour away from her house.
I guess more to the point, which gate would somebody have to leave to be likely to encounter this road?
Definitely the south gate.
I go to the south gate and ask them if they know anything about some big insect creatures that ambush people from underground.
As you're talking, he's like, "Oh, they're oh, don't tell me. Did you see? You didn't see a sign telling you not to go along that road. Did you run into these things?"
We did, but I don't think we approach from the direction you're normally meant to.
Oh, well, anyway, yeah, we have a sign up to keep people away. It's definitely very dangerous. Those things have killed guards in the past. Um, we routinely send people out to kind of prune those things, but it's an infestation. It's hard to get rid of them all, keep them away. It's actually kind of weird that they keep coming back though. Normally, if you weed them out long enough, they'll just go somewhere else. But it's a particularly stubborn lot for some reason. But yes, yeah, definitely stay away. And if you fought and survived, well, hats off to you. You must have got pretty lucky and must have some good skills.
Well, the good news is there's 3 less of them now.
Good. Um, you'll be less happy to know that there is a larger version of that is even nastier. So let's just stay away, please. If you want a job hunting those, we can probably arrange something like that at some point. But uh, for your health, I would suggest just staying away entirely.
Mm, Um, you know if anybody may be involved with them having such a strong presence?
Not that I know of. I've never heard of such a thing. At the moment, you're talking to the lieutenant who's on duty.
Mm-hmm. All right. Well, why don't we go head on into town?
Okay, where do you go?
Anybody got an idea on who would be a good candidate for identifying these things? What they're used
Well,
for? I mean, we have
I
enough
can
of what
ask.
Crone was planning.
I can ask Gimbal, and I really do trust him. I think maybe he received the bad information. But the other thing is, I believe you have a rather spry little librarian who might be able to tell us all about these things. Whilst I take Gimbal one and ask him what they're for.
That's certainly true. I guess while Ragu's doing that, I'm going to go ahead and go to the library and see if Ivala has access to any books that'll give us some information on these critters and what their components can be used for.
Okay, yeah. So she starts, helping you find material, and while she's doing that, Ragu, you show up at Gimbal's place. So what do you do, Ragu?
Hey, Gimbal, how are you doing today?
Oh, good. You look a little worse for wear.
Just a bit beat as. Uh, just so I can let you know there, that old crone Anna or Allah. She
Kala? Yeah. What about her?
yes, She sent me and my compatriots to get unkeg eyeballs in order for her to make a potion of like telepathies for my friend Pico. I
He
was
raises
wondering
an
if
eyebrow and he says,
I was
"There's
I,
no
I was
there's
wondering.
no potion that takes Ankeg eyeballs. I'm afraid. They're
Yes,
not actually
that's what I
not
want.
very useful for anything that I know of.
That's what I was going to be asking. Yes, so these things are not useful for.
Yeah, you're carrying them around, and maybe I don't think you're gonna get anything for them. Honestly,
She
I'm
had
surprised you survived. She sent you out to take, and she specifically said to get the eyeballs.
yes. I'm beginning
Well,
to think your information was not quite so good.
I'm beginning
Maybe.
to think so as well. Granted, it was just a rumor, and rumors don't always pan out. It obviously wasn't meant to send you into danger, or at least not excessive danger. What
Yeah,
about
we
the
did
other
not
ones?
know
Were you
we
able
were.
to at least find Hintero's stash?
Oh, yes, I did. That's
Okay,
a very
okay.
nice
So
place.
that's good. So it wasn't all bad. Um, yeah, so I wonder what that crone is doing then. I don't know her personally. Like I said, I just heard the rumor. That's why everything was
Yes.
so vague. But I was trying to find information as fast as possible.
Yeah, yeah. I
I mean, maybe
understand.
there's a misunderstanding. You could try talking to her again, but that's up to you. It sounds awfully suspicious.
It does sound suspicious, and I appreciate that. So these on keg eyeballs, they is not for no potions or nothing.
No, they're slimy and gross, and that's about all they're good for. Maybe for parties.
Parties? Do they do something for parties?
When you try to scare people, you have eyeballs in the soup.
Oh, I thought you meant to had some sort of psychedelic property and
Oh,
people
it's
drink it or
nothing
something
useful
gross.
like that. No.
No, alrighty then.
All right.
Thank you very much, my friend. Oh, no, we're good. We're good. Thank you.
All
And I
right.
do appreciate, don't trust whatever your source was for that lady, I guess, thinking
Yeah,
about it here.
definitely. I'm gonna have to look into that more. Figure out what's going on with her. Maybe there's more of a problem here. We don't want people.
Yeah, because
We don't want people like killing people or causing people to get killed. Regardless. So.
yeah, a friend of mine is much more very hurt. So, yeah, as a result of this.
Well, I'm sorry for them. They didn't die, did they?
Close, very close, but we were able to get them out of the jaws in time.
Well, I
I
apologize.
ripped its arse
He,
apart.
he hands you a healing potion. It's like, take this. Give this to him.
I will, thank you. And I will be seeing you later, my friend.
See you later.
Oh, there might be another Lumev expedition soon, so if you have any information on the ore later, that would be great.
Great. All right, moving back over to Pico. So Pico, you got your sources, and I'm assuming you're looking through them. Trying. What are you looking for exactly?
Well, kind of looking up ANCAG biology as it relates to any sort of reagents for potions and whatnot.
Yeah, you do find entries for ANKEGs, and you do find various attempts to use their various parts. Apparently, their acid is pretty decent. It unfortunately loses potency outside of their body for some reason, but it's still comparable to other acids you can find. But other than that, it seems like nobody's had much luck using them for anything.
Mm-hmm.
And it seems also like they tend to infest areas, so it's better to get rid of them rather than trying to keep them around for harvest.
Mm. All right. Well, and I'll check with Ivala, and it's like, do you mind double checking my work here? We got sent on a very dangerous mission to harvest some resources from Ankegs, and it looks like these creatures what we were supposed to get from them isn't actually of any sort of value. Am I reading this right?
She
We were specifically looking for their eyes.
she nods. She's like, yeah, I mean, pretty much. Yeah, I mean, it's relatively well known, at least in this area. I mean, I guess if you're from out of the city, but yeah, it's pretty clear that they're not useful for anything other than getting killed. So yeah, definitely stay away and don't ever bother with them unless if you can avoid it.
Well, I'll try to actually exercise some good judgment next time.
All right. All right, so you both go to your various people, and I take it you meet back up somewhere.
Mm-hmm.
All right, so where do you go?
I guess our usual little dining establishment.
Cool. So everybody meets up. So what do you do next?
Well, my research says that the eyeballs are useless. I even had Avala kind of fact check my work here.
Yes, and Gimbal says also that the eyeballs are used for nothing. They're just gross and stinky and useless. Oh, and I hand Oreo a potion. This is from Gimbal with his utmost apologies.
Okay, thank you. I'm not gonna use it. I'm just gonna add it to the bucket I've got.
Okay.
Was it a standard healing potion or a greater or anything?
It was a standard.
Okay.
Okay, so you meet up and you talk about it. So what do you do next?
Well, we've got a 36-pound bag of gross, useless eyeballs and a lady that I'm not happy at.
I have a really dumb idea. Let's go back to the ant kegs and find a different part from them to bring. We're destroying these eyeballs. We'll go talk to the lady real quick. Let her know that somebody got to the creatures before we did and apparently took their eyes and show off this inconsequential part to prove that we actually did have our deceased Ankeg encounter and just see what she has to say. But I'm thinking we should probably report her to the guards.
Yeah, reporting her to the guards might be good, but going back with a different thing? I mean, should we go back and say, yep, they weren't easy to get, but here you go, and see what she says? Oh, you killed my little bugs, or... And should we have an eyeball? She did specifically say 3. If we bring her 2, we can say these were the only 2 that they were left, or something.
Well, as far as we know, these things have no value. I mean, I guess we could, but I mean, the thing is, I don't want to, whatever these were supposed to be used for, I don't want her making this potion and then trying to inflict it upon us. So that's why I'd rather bring something different. So it's kind of the proof we did our thing on good faith and that, well, somebody took them out. So the idea being is that if she's going to get mad that they're dead, it's not necessarily because of us.
Oh. If we're at our standard eating establishment, can I get a large beer mug?
Yeah, they'll definitely bring you one, sure.
How much was this?
A silver?
Right, hold on. Yep, I give him 1 silver. I think equipment, silver. Okay. All right, I give him the silver. I take 1 eyeball. I slice a big old gouge out of it and let the liquid and the ripped eyeball piece drain into the mug. We will take that to her. She specifically asked for 3. We have 1 broken one, but we did it on good faith to bring her an eyeball. Is that good for what you're saying?
I think that still comes back to the whole thing before. If she says something like, oh, well, I can improvise with this, or something like that. That's why I'd rather her not get the alleged item at all, because
even though we know it is useless.
Right, but the thing is, we're not supposed to know that, so she could still weave some story about, well, I could make a limited quantity of the potion, whereas it'd be hard for her to justify that if we don't have any of the eyes to speak of. It'll be, I mean, if she can suddenly magically make the potion without them, well, that's already cause for concern.
Suspicious. Okay. All righty. We will go with that.
Okay. So I'm gonna go ahead and take you back to her map. I'm just gonna assume you go back and get some, part of the carapace or whatever it is you wanted, and then return. And you notice that when you go to return, at least viewing it from the outside, you don't see her.
Let's go ahead and knock, I guess.
Okay. You
Yep.
knock, but nothing happens.
And a peek in the windows.
Yeah, you peek in, you see the fire's still going, but you don't see her anywhere.
I send Char out real quick here. Can I get a look through him?
You go to send Char out, but he won't move from your shoulder.
Oh, okay.
He's only ever done this here.
Yeah, he's definitely scared. And since he's right here on my shoulder, he should be able to telepathically tell me, why he's afraid. Something. Any clues, buddy?
The impression you're getting is he's getting this a strong sense of death.
Okay.
Okay. When you
And open
enter,
the
you
door
see
and
that
in.
there are, the door's not locked or anything, so yeah, it opens. You see that there are 2 doors over here, a door over here. There's a fire going still. There's the faded couch with the one spot that isn't covered with dust. A bookcase with ripped scrolls, and of course, plenty of spider webs. So what are you gonna do?
Shall we go in and see what goes on? Pico?
Maybe. I mean, although I don't know if we want to push our luck with this. I guess we could investigate a bit.
All right, I come on in and just start perusing the scrolls she has here.
Okay.
Anything?
You.
I don't want to sit there and actually read them all and open them in case they're magical. I'm just seeing what there is, just to make sure I don't have any cursing going on.
Yeah, there's a bunch of scrolls that are tied closed. So are you gonna open them up?
Well, being a mage, I know how scrolls work, with untying them alone just to see what they are going to activate, like any sort of
Not
horrible
normally,
curses.
unless it's specifically trapped.
None of them are marked on the outside or nothing.
No.
Can I see any of the writing looking through the center of the tube?
You can. It's pretty messy though. Some of them have diagrams, but just looking in, it's hard to gauge what they're about. But it does seem like at least some of them might be recipes or something.
Yeah, not wanting to poke too terribly far. I suppose if we're still just standing here, if we wind up standing here for 10 minutes, I can detecting magic.
Okay. All right. So yeah, you cast detect magic, and you're not getting any sense of magic from the scrolls. You get probably a light sense of magic from the door, behind the door, that is. You get a light sense of magic from behind this door and behind this door. But
Very
it's
quietly kind of.
It's very subtle.
Okay.
Oh, I lied. Not this door. There's no magic here. But this one
Just
and this one.
all right. I
tell
very
I tell Ragu from far away, make sure you check if you're gonna do anything for traps, because if she left another booby trap here, don't expect it to be an easy search.
and I kind of gesture at Pico to D-store and D-store.
Those are magical. Now we could check the non-magic one first.
Okay.
Okay.
So
How am I checking for traps here, or will Oreo come in and do that, or should she stay outside?
I'm gonna keep on the watch out.
all right. So Ragu, you see what looks like a supply room. You can see barrels with water. Stuff's closed, but you get the sense that there's utensils and cookware based on things sticking out and whatnot. Are you gonna search more thoroughly, or what are you gonna do?
Yeah, I'll do a quick but more thorough search to see anything specific.
Okay, so yeah, you open up like the box and stuff like that, and you find some empty scrolls, basic ink and writing utensils, and a small pouch with 30 silvers. And then yeah, you find just utensils and cookware.
Okay. I'm actually gonna leave that and come out.
Okay.
Okay. Just supplies.
Oreo, you look kind of hungry.
I do.
Yep. I think you should eat some berries. They're really good.
Oh, okay. You're giving me 10?
Yes.
Okay, thank you.
Cool.
All right. In that case, then I can go in there and just check for traps, because I was not gonna go in there with 10 health. I will check for
That's
traps on both doors first.
Okay.
yeah, that's why I gave you the potion.
Yeah, but I did not want to use something that. Never mind. Anyway,
Yeah.
Go ahead and roll. All right. Yeah, you're pretty sure it's not trapped.
I'm gonna check the other door as well.
Okay. Yeah, same thing. They
Okay.
aren't even locked.
I will go ahead and open them then.
Okay, so you open the doors, and
Have at it, boys.
and to the north, you find what looks like a bedroom, but your eye is drawn to the bones haphazardly stuffed under the bed. The bed itself
Ooh.
is faded and dusty, though obviously used. Once nice-looking old dresser covers the right wall, though it is covered with spider webs, and you can see sunlight leaking from beneath the door. And if you go ahead and go in one so you can get a better look, you can see the sheer amount of bones underneath the bed. Oh, sorry.
Is Ragu's magic still going? If so, can he go in there to see where the faint magic is coming from?
In that case, Ragu,
touch
it's
the
coming
tendons.
from beneath the bones.
Ooh.
Underneath the bones there.
I want to look at the bones, see if I can get any idea of cause of death. Do I see anything that might indicate acid damage or the kind of bite marks that the Ankeg
You
mandibles
see a
would have
variety of things. You know, some of them look like acid damage. Some of them look like bites. Some of them look like gouges. Some look like they're burned. Some look like they're brittle and maybe once were frozen. All sorts of things.
I'm just gonna go off and make a guess, but I think the things that she wanted were our bones, not the eyeballs, right?
Mm.
Oh, definitely. I mean, that's what I'm kind of looking into. Is it seems like she's like a literal bone collector.
Yeah. So maybe she's
Maybe.
actually right now out there waiting to see where our bodies are.
The magic's a bit troubling, though.
Yeah, it's definitely coming from beneath the bones.
Like beneath the floor, beneath the bones, or literally just under the bones?
It's hard to tell without moving the bones.
Pico, you want to do your handy thingy?
Ragu, do you want to tell Char though to keep an eye out while he's doing
Yes.
that? Because
Char, I can't see him right now, Jeremy.
He should be. There you go. He was in that main
No,
room.
yeah, I know.
Could
That's
just dismiss
because he
him.
didn't
I'm
want to come
sure
in.
he'd appreciate that.
Do what again?
You could dismiss him. I'm sure he'd appreciate that.
That is true. I could dismiss him, but I was just going to have him go out to the front and keep watch in case he sees anybody.
You
can go
try
to
to
the
make
top of
him
the
leave
room.
your shoulder, but he refuses.
All right. You want me to dismiss you, buddy?
He nods.
All right. Yeah, he'll go away.
All right.
He'll be safe in his own little pocket place.
And that's the second time your familiar's ever disobeyed your order.
No, it's not
Alright,
that he disobeyed. I understand he is scared. He is my good buddy.
And so there was magic coming from bones in the other room too?
Not necessarily. You just saw magic from the other side. You guys didn't check out what it was yet.
yeah, we haven't gone there yet.
Check that first.
Okay. So you come into a room and oh, hold on. What the heck? Oh, sorry. I'm clicking on the wrong thing. Yeah, you come into a room, a dusty back room. You see many glass vials filled with parts of different animals, eyes, toes, hearts, brains, and more. Bottles, a cauldron, a work table, many scrolls filled with hard-to-read notes and recipes. It looks like you could if you were to gather some of the supplies, you could put together a alchemist supply kit.
Oh, snap.
Actually, I was thinking that I'd like to make an Arcana check to see what she has up and out and available. I mean, she's obviously brewing some sort of something already.
Okay, go ahead and make an Arcana check.
All right, would that be my artificers?
No,
Potions
this
and
is
stuff?
more potion stuff, so probably just plain
Yeah.
Arcana.
Hey, before you get too invested in that, shouldn't you be tracking down the source of magic in this room?
It is coming
Yes,
from
yes,
one
I
of the
should.
cauldrons.
Okay.
Hmm.
All right. So specifically the cauldron, I go ahead and point that out. I'll make my Arcana check here.
It's a DC 15.
Normal. Oh.
If if anybody else is proficient in Arcana, they can help you out. If
I'll
you
try.
use, say it again.
But I'm trying to make Roll20 work again because it's just showing a white screen again.
Okay,
But,
it
I
doesn't
help
like
her.
this map for some reason. Just reload it. But if you're proficient, you can help Ragu, which I assume you do. And Ragu with a 15, that is now enough to make it. And you look at the recipes and you look at the parts and everything, and you don't recognize any of it. In fact, you're pretty sure that none of this should work. None of this is valid alchemical recipes. Clearly, the woman thinks she's doing something, but it's all fake. But
Yeah,
yet,
once
but yet, you do sense magic from the cauldron, so somehow some of it works, even though none of it should.
Okay, I'll go ahead and when Devok gets up, roll 20 up and going again. I'll go explain a little bit to him. Maybe he's a little better at this than I, yes? But,
I can use Roll20, I just can't see the map.
okay.
I tried the same
And-
thing that worked last time and it's not working. So
I wonder if it's
And
because
I
of the
wonder-
fog.
I don't think so.
You try a different browser, maybe.
Just wanna... Oh, there we go. I just had to do it a second time for some reason.
Okay, so you see things now?
Yeah.
All right. Anyway, go ahead. Ragu, you were going to say something?
Yeah, I'm gonna go ahead and do a ritual cast identify on that one magical potion.
Okay. You do so, and yeah, it's the kind of remnants of a potion, and it seems to be some sort of strong combination of a poison and hallucinogenic. It seems like the idea is whoever would drink it would hallucinate, possibly blabbering on, maybe talking about secrets or whatever, who knows, but at the same time would be dying and would eventually succumb. Unfortunately, it's a fairly small amount, and so you don't think you have enough there to do anything useful with. Um, but she did somehow make this.
It probably would have worked yesterday.
Um, yeah, I was gonna say I'll go ahead and take even this small amount just so we have a sample.
Fair enough.
I don't know what to call it.
Hallucinogenic poison.
Okay.
We're gonna go ahead and just take her alchemy supplies. And
I
do any of
already
her
did
notes
that.
indicate what she was making?
Yeah. Yeah, we can take her notes too, and now that Devok's in, he can go ahead and do his probably better trying to see what she did, because yeah, none of this should work as far as I know.
Yeah, Devok looks at it. He'll come up with the same conclusion. None of it should work. As far as the alchemy kit, you can use the eye to look it up. It's the same weight and everything that's listed there. And I think Oreo was looking for that, but I'll leave that up to you guys as to who gets it.
Has what
Yeah,
again?
whoever.
Sorry.
The alchemy kit. I was
Um,
saying that you were looking for one at one point, but I'll
Oh,
leave it up to you guys to decide who gets it.
yeah. Okay.
Seems like she should get that, I would imagine.
Yeah, if you want that, go ahead.
So I'm assuming you already have one.
I don't
No,
have an alchemist. No, I don't. We can talk about it later, but the idea is that I can, out of all of us, I think I'm the one who can more feasibly become proficient with it overnight.
Yeah, I mean, I was saying Ragu probably already had one, but
oh no, I don't
yeah,
have an alchemist kit yet. I've got the herbalism kit instead to make potions. But yeah, alchemist
whatever.
would be helpful at some point.
All right. Well, having seen that, I'm gonna go ahead and use Mage Hand to start sorting through bones.
Okay, you move the bones, the bed, and the bones out of the way, and you find a trap door, and there's a magical seal on the trap door. That was what was emanating magic.
Interesting. Ragu, you want to identify this seal?
Yes. I come in to go ahead and do a ritual identifying on the sealer.
Yep, you see the seal, and yeah, it's definitely meant to keep people from being able to access the trapdoor. It's to keep it closed and protect it from magic. You can potentially undo the seal with a DC 15 Arcana check.
All right, if you can give me some assistance.
Devok, you're gonna assist him.
Actually, no. I'll help, and then because what's your Arcana?
Six.
+4.
No, Devox.
Oh yeah.
6.
6.
I should probably just
Okay,
do.
I'll help Ragu, and I've got a plan for you if we fail.
Okay, go for it. Okay, the seal has been dissolved, and the trapdoor is now accessible, but it's currently closed.
You want to
Let's
do
open
your
it up.
amazing? Yep.
I'll use Mage Hand to open the trap door.
All right, you open it up, and you see it leads into some sort of cave. It's dark down there. It's hard to tell what's down there, but it seems to be heading toward the northwest. It seems to go in only one direction.
I'll go ahead and go down and take a look.
All right, so
right.
yeah, you can see that it branches out different directions, but due to your survival skill, you're pretty easily able to detect the only path that anybody's ever walked on, or at least anybody recently.
Alrighty.
Do you plan on following it?
Sure.
All right.
I'll let everybody know that I've identified a path that somebody's actually followed if they want to come along.
I'd
And
like
hey,
to
we still got a
go
whole bunch
along.
of twine. I'm going to lay that down just in case, or have Ragu lay that down just in case.
All right. Actually, I have to make one small change before I send you guys, and then we'll get started. All right, that should work. All right, so it takes you several. It actually takes you several hours you know, of going down this fairly, fairly simple cave. You know, you don't see much, and finally you come into this area, and you can feel a faint breeze coming from somewhere. Coming down the tunnels. So this is the first sign of something being different. Um, so what do you guys do?
Look, there's mushrooms behind us. Are they emanating light?
They are not. Any light you see is
Oh, it's probably from
is
Ragu.
from yourselves. Yes.
Yeah.
I don't think I have lights on, but okay.
I
Oh,
I just
somebody
wanted-
does.
Yeah. Somebody's got a lantern or something on.
I don't
Yeah.
have. I mean, I shouldn't have it on. Can you
Yair.
turn,
Yeah,
turn
it's Iyer
everything
because
off?
he doesn't have.
Can you turn everything off just to be sure, though? Jeremy,
Yeah. So you have night vision, right?
I have night vision. Yeah.
So Ragu, light
Ragu has night
off,
vision. No,
and then
Ragu has night
I
vision.
just turned it off.
so and
I had
then
it on.
enable night vision.
Can you guys hear me?
Yeah.
I had the light on.
Okay.
Okay.
So Ragu, I should have turned your night vision back on. So everything should be good to go now.
Okay.
Okay. So what do you do?
Oh,
Stealth
actually,
our way around, though. Just being mindful
Sorry. Say that again.
that if we're gonna move anywhere, we should be doing it with stealth. Just saying. So if anybody decides to start moving in the front,
is there anything going on with these mushrooms here?
They seem to be rather large cave mushrooms. They're kind of hanging above. You kind of would have came out from underneath them, but you don't see anything specifically special about them other than them being large.
And I guess I'll go ahead and I guess I'll turn on produce flame. Or well, actually, well, if we're trying to be sneaky, we may not want lights on, but we probably don't want to stumble too much.
Well, you already have Devox light, so that's providing you guys a fair amount of light as it is.
Well, I guess if Oreo and I move forward, we can go ahead and stay ahead of the light.
Okay.
Did you check out the mushrooms yet?
I looked. There was apparently nothing special about them other than being large. I didn't.
but you should check them out. Check them out while me and the others are going in front for just a little bit, just to see without the light.
Okay.
Whoops, none of that.
All right. A 12 and a 17. It looks like. All right. So yeah, go ahead and move. All right. Yeah, you see.
Right, did I need to roll that too?
If you're moving, yeah.
Or no?
If you're
Oh,
trying to
sorry.
be stealthy, yeah.
Yeah, definitely.
Okay. Anyway, you see a hole. You see more dead-end passages to the north. You see a large stalactite to the south, and a fairly large area. And you feel like the draft is coming from this way.
I just give Pico a signal that that's where it's coming from, but I don't say anything.
All right. I'm going to point to myself, and then I'm going to point towards the tunnels to the north.
Okay, I'm gonna stay put.
I'm going to go up to the dead ends. I'm going to light up produce flame, so I can get a better view here.
Okay. You do so, and yeah, you see a dead end. You see the mushrooms. Due to your passive perception, you do see something shiny reflecting on the ground, beneath the mushrooms.
All right. I'll use Mage Hand to retrieve that.
You do so. You find that some broken glass. It looks like a broken lantern, and probably about 4 silver coins, and some sort of discarded cloth, torn and tattered though. But it's
Interesting.
clear a human was here at one point, or at least a humanoid.
I'm going to go ahead and put out produce flame. I'm going to come over here and check this area. I'll relight produce flame over here.
Fair enough. You check it out. You see the mushrooms, but you don't spot anything unusual.
I'll go ahead and actually try and specifically search.
Okay, you go ahead and make a roll. Yep, you are sure that there's nothing unusual here.
All right, I snuff out the flame and go ahead and
Well,
move up.
before we move forward though, Devok did make a roll. Did he get any information from what he rolled?
What did you roll, Devok? A 22?
22 on
Yeah. So
nature.
these are large cave mushrooms. Um, there are some types of animals and insects that feed on them, but they don't have any interesting magical properties.
Okay.
Okay, so like I said, you feel a draft coming from this direction. It's faint, but you hear the sound of somebody moaning in probably in pain from this direction.
I stop right there and I let Pico know I make some sort of funny expression of someone wailing without making any sound in that direction. I'm gonna go ahead and keep moving though up to here, just again keeping in stealth just to see if I can hear it a bit better, if it's actually coming from this opening or further down here.
Definitely further down. Although, like I
Okay.
said, it is muffled at this point.
Okay.
I'm going to move down.
And also, like I mentioned before, there is a draft coming from this way.
You want to check that out first?
Yeah, can you see to the end of the tunnel?
To the left,
Yeah.
I see all the way up to this point.
Okay, a little bit beyond that is actually the cave ends. So I don't see anything in view, certainly no people.
No, but I do see an entrance on this side though. There's something on this side that maybe that's where it's coming from.
Yeah, I see that. There's potentially also something to the south as well.
Well, that's why I kind of moved where I was to see if the noise was coming from in here, but he's saying it's all the way to the end. So
Yeah.
the only thing I could potentially think of is there if you can see the end of the wall.
Yeah, although it does sound like it's more like it's coming from kind of south and west, but clearly, so I mean, there is a chance it could be coming from here, but it'd have to be past, way over, over here.
Okay, well, Pico is then checking that area with the draft, and I'm gonna just investigate this area down here for a bit and see what's going on.
Okay, so Pico, the draft is coming from right here.
All right.
You see a solid wall, but yet you feel a draft. There's no cracks or anything.
All right. And Mage Hand, yeah, Mage Hand's got to be solid to pick things up. I'm going to go ahead and use Mage Hand and start probing at the walls.
The hand, when it goes to probe at the wall, the fingers go right through it.
And in all spots or a specific area?
Basically, this whole wall right here.
I think it's an illusion.
Could be. All right, so I'll let Oreo know that, and I'll let Ragu know that, and I guess I'll go find Devok and let him know that.
Okay.
So, did anybody check this hole?
Not yet.
Not yet.
As you approach Ragu, you see something moving down there. Do you lean in?
Don't lean in since I'm so tall. Can I just kind of raise my head up and try and see down without leaning over the hole?
Sure, you try to do that, and it looks like some sort of tentacly thing.
Yeah.
What do we want to do? Fill in the hole? Kill it?
But
Just
it
leave
does
be for
end.
now?
The hole does end, so there doesn't look like there's anything down there but the creature.
Let's not. I'll
Let's
get over
just
here
leave it
because I
for
don't
now.
want to. Yes, don't touch, don't engage anything right now. We're just
Yeah.
investigating.
Yes, yes.
Well, we've
Wait,
got
is the bot coming with us? Oh no, he's BRB. Never mind.
Yeah, let me go ahead and move him down so he's with you guys.
I did say though that while I was down here that I wanted to investigate. So while Pico was doing that, did I see anything in particular of interest down here?
You see a stalactite. You see the stone walls. It does seem to be a fairly normal cave. You don't see anything particularly interesting.
Okay, fair.
How about the passage wrapping around to the south? Yeah, right
Yeah,
there.
you see it branches off to another small cave.
I'll keep going down a little bit just to see around the corner.
Okay, you can see, and it keeps narrowing and narrowing, but it looks like it doesn't completely close off. So maybe there's something, very small passage there, and then it branches off to the south.
Got it. Okay, I'll just come back and let everybody else know that that's pretty much a near to dead end, but not necessarily. So, but we've got something more interesting up here. Yeah,
Say that again?
Let's check out the illusionary wall.
let me second
Oh,
that.
okay.
Okay. So yeah, it definitely looks solid. You feel the wind, you feel the draft, but it looks solid. You don't see any light coming through.
I'm going to try and poke my head through.
You do so, and you see a cave on the other side. You see stalactites, and you see a cave that goes to north, south, and further on in. And you're getting a sense of light. So it seems like eventually you get the sense that this direction is the way out. If you want to go outside.
Now, FYI, before we move forward, though, if that lady decided to go scavenging for our bones and use this as a way out and way in or something, should we be wanting to go out this direction?
Maybe we should investigate the other half, and then we can come out here. We can see what that wailing is, and then come through the illusion. This is obviously our back door.
Well, maybe, but there's still multiple little ends. I mean, we don't have to necessarily go outside. You can at least
Okay.
explore the little alcove. Whoa, hold on. There we go.
One thing you
So essentially,
notice.
let's not take the exit.
So one thing you notice is that there's trash and debris. Looks like it's fairly recent, and it looks like there are things like broken pottery, a torn wineskin. So potentially looks like there might have been a camp here, or at least people rested here.
Any Kylon in it?
Any pylon in it? No.
Yeah, that's a change. All right, I'm going to fire up Produce Flame and start investigating the dead ends.
Okay, in here you find it looks like some mining or digging tools. You see another hole. Oreo, as you're going to the south, you see something shiny, but you don't know what it is.
I get closer.
All right, you get closer, and it looks like there's the top of a metal box, it's kind of tucked underneath the rocks and everything. But you saw one of the metal bands that's holding it closed, and so basically it looks like a very small treasure chest, currently locked.
Her eyes go big and she starts to fiddle with it.
Okay, go ahead and make a lockpicking roll.
Yep.
Okay, yeah, you easily pick the lock, and you open it up to find 13 gold coins, 33 silver, and a single regular healing potion.
Yay! Thank you.
You've just stole somebody's stash.
You make it sound bad. Listen, I died this session, so I get this, all right?
Hey, you're a rogue. You know, what are you gonna care about that anyway?
Okay.
All right, so that's
So
what
just
she's doing. Pico, you were searching. You didn't find anything too interesting in these caves. You found a small little dead end, um, but yeah, otherwise it wasn't really anything. It's just more cave.
All right. How far out is the exit?
It shows it immediately, but it's a pretty long cave. It's several hundred more feet. But there's nothing else interesting in those paths.
Okay.
Was there anything here in the was there anything here in the trash pile? Anything of actual value?
Go ahead and make a perception check. Nope, nothing of value. Just trash.
All right. Well, I guess we can head back out, and I guess we can investigate the whaling.
Okay,
Did
let me
we
go
ex-
ahead and move
Did we
everybody.
explore it up here yet?
You did.
Okay,
Or not you, but one of you did.
somebody did.
All right, the sound is definitely coming from kind of this direction and to the south. And you can see light from the south. You see what appears to be a torch on the ground, which has disappeared, even though I had originally placed one there.
I see. Yeah, you
And
see
you
something, right,
see,
Pico?
and you see what looks like an old man partially buried under some rocks. He's the one moaning, although he doesn't seem to be conscious at the moment.
It seems like a really shitty way of saying this, but is there any way of doing an insight check on that whaling?
He's genuinely hurt.
Okay, okay.
All right. I'm gonna go ahead and start trying to unbury the guy.
Oh, you do so. It looks like there was a partial cave in here, and it looks like he was caught underneath. And by digging him out, you wind up digging out the cave in, which leads to the south. And as you do so, the guy wakes up. He seems to be badly hurt, and he says, young people.
I put my paw over his mouth and just.
Okay. So what do you guys do?
I saw this here.
We are. I turned
Out-
everybody else, put my finger in front of my mouth, and carefully pull the guy back.
All right.
Yeah, I nod and I help to get him back there without dragging boots or anything.
As I'm pulling everybody back, I whisper, "Cultists."
Yeah. Yeah, I saw those too when I was right there. Not good.
Alrighty. All right. So you pull the guy back, and he once you pull him back, he kind of looks at you and he says, "Thank you, young people, for helping me out. I've been trapped here for hours. There was a partial cave in, and yeah, I was here with a group of people. We were checking something out. Can I know this is a lot to ask, but do one of you have bandages or something?"
Uh, can we make sure something? Let me see what is it. I don't think I've got anything in particular for.
If you have a medicine kit,
I don't have one. Wait, the things that I bought, I put them on the cart. I don't technically have any.
okay.
And we wouldn't have been bringing the cart around for all this.
Yeah. Can I make shift out of my herbalism kit and some just whatever I have?
You can make a skill, a roll, and see if you can make something to make him feel better at least.
Okay, I can make a roll to make him feel better, and somebody can go grab some rags out of that trash pile to bind any
Oh, yeah.
wounds.
Sure, I'll do that. I'll go all the way back and see if I can scour anything that of use from the trash.
Okay. All right. So go ahead and make your roll, Ragu, and Oreo. I just assume you do that.
Yep.
Okay. So it looks like a 10. So it isn't great, but it takes the edge off the pain because you can see that he was partially buried in rocks and bleeding and everything, and you bandaged him up. And after several minutes of treating him, he nods and says, "Thank you, young people. I am most grateful. As I was saying, I was here with some allies of mine. You see, it's a long story, but I had heard some unfortunate rumors, and we were here to verify if they were true or not. And unfortunately, I think they are. Well, you see, I should introduce myself. My name's Jared. Who might you be?"
Eager bunch. Yep. Yep.
Yeah.
My name is Ragu, and what were you investigating, just if I might ask? Was it those peoples back there that we're still
Yes,
trying to be
I
able
will
to
tell you
quiet?
more about it, but I'm curious to make your acquaintances first.
I'd rather not make acquaintances until we're in safety, if you don't mind.
So you do not wish to speak your name, I take it, and nor you. I guess tabaxi are not as common here. And you, Sadaga, I see you are not one of the feral ones. That is correct.
Jeez. We need Gavin here to put some sense into him in terms of like, you Sudaga over there.
It is very
Dang.
interesting. I've never actually seen one of you up close. Um, may I get your name?
We are in a witch's cavern. Our names of power. We should probably not be speaking in the.
Yes.
Yeah, let's just. I have a lot to. If you are going to help me or me help you, there's much to discuss. Let us back up and have a proper discussion. And he
As we're
points
backing
back
up,
the way you came.
Actually, before we do, I just want to get one more look at this whole situation.
No, I'll just take a peek then. I just want to see too. Oh, that's what you meant by cultist. I was like, what the hell are you guys talking about? I was like, oh.
Actually, I'm gonna turn off my light.
Yeah, that's a good idea.
All right, yeah, let's.
Yeah, that's enough for peek. I get what's going on. All right.
So yeah, he goes way back around the corner. Anyway, it says, and Ragu, by the way, you see, since you're looking, you see some sort of rectangular light coming from there. It's rather odd, and you see beyond it, you see some clearly deep water. You see just a small crack. That until this cave in recently, this area was probably completely hidden.
I look up to see where the square of light is coming from.
You're gonna make your way, move the rocks that are out of the way, and get through.
Can I stick my head in and look up?
Not really. You would actually have to spend probably about 10 minutes moving rocks out of the way to open
No.
open up along here to get through. Is that what you're gonna do?
Oh no, I'm gonna do that later. I'm gonna catch up with everybody. I'll tell them that I found a hidden room.
Okay. Anyway, so the old man is looking at you and he says, "Well, friends, my name is Jared, as I once said. Me and my allies, we can just say that we work for some of the nobility. And there's a grave concern that we have. You may have heard of the Grey Cult. Well, no matter, it's rumors and nonsense, so I will tell you what I know of the truth. They are a doomsday cult. They seem to believe that the Kylon invasion, do you know what the Kylon are?
Oh yeah.
Oh, yes, we do.
They believe that the Kylon invasion and the dead worlds that were recently found are sure signs of the end times. They believe that the destruction of all worlds has already begun. Their God has promised in prophecy that his followers will be uplifted and rewarded in the new worlds to come if they hasten along the destruction of the current world. And this cult, they exist in many places in this world, unfortunately. But I had feared, me and my group, that they had perhaps infested this town, this city. And it appears that our fears were well founded. Unfortunately, my allies had moved, we've been moving through this cave, and I was lagging behind, old age, you see, and there was some sort of cave in, and I was caught, and I have not heard from them since. I believe that had they still been able to do so, they would have come back to check on me. I am, believe it or not, their leader.
What exactly is this group that you came with?
What?
It's basically we this we believe that this cult and others like it, those who want to use the Kylon, who want to use the current issues to the downfall of the Empire and the world in this case, that these people need to be dealt with. And so we work with the nobility in order to do this.
But you,
Which
as a
noble house
group,
did?
yeah, you as a group though don't have a name that you guys associate yourselves with?
We do. Um, we call ourselves the Restorers.
Okay.
And
What
like I
noble
said,
house was that?
we
again?
work with the nobility, not necessarily a specific noble house, but we work with several of them. Those that, well, shall we say, those that seek the greater good rather than their own, lining their own pockets. Anyway, we came to, because we believe this cult would be here, and it took, you would not believe how long. We even worked with some tabaxi who wind up being rather useless in an attempt to find this place. But we found it through other means. And finally here, and what does me in? Not a cultist, but a friggin' rock slide. Anyway, you
Really?
young people, you came to help just in time. I don't know how much longer I could have lasted. But my allies, I
You're,
think they've been captured. And I need to see to the rescue.
Were you
you're not.
traveling south when the cave-in occurred?
Yes.
Well, then they are undoubtedly captured or worse, because I could see a large group of cultists on the far side when we were digging you out. So,
Fortunately, we have there's something to on our side there, and that is they are. I could hear them chanting before the slide, and they are going through one of their rituals. That darkness that you see in the center, that is how they commune with their god, or the
Do you
supposed
know
god.
the name of what do you know that supposed name of that god they worship?
They keep it secret, unfortunately. It's one of the things we've been attempting to find out. Anyway, um, there are caves off to either side, and most likely their prisoners would be in one of those caves because during their ritual. That is all they're focused on. The prisoners would not be there.
All right.
So, will you aid me in rescuing my fellows from certain death?
Are you willing to wait behind, or are you insisting on coming along?
I will trail behind you. Do not worry. I have seen fights in my day, but I will not interfere. But I think you should have me there in case if you need more information to stay out of harm's way.
How bad does this guy look in terms of, like, how injured does he look?
He looks like he's fairly injured. Basically, if you were to put it in terms of hit points, he probably has about 5 right now. Um, he has a little bit of a limp, but he's moving surprisingly quickly nonetheless, given the situation he was in. You can tell that obviously probably not now, but at one point in time he probably really was a fighter, and potentially even of a decent level.
I know Galen is not here right now, so I guess
So, if I understand, you look to be somebody of some reasonable capability. Have you? Has it ever been determined that you were tuned with the weave?
Yes, indeed. I could fight with the best of them, but as I said, old age, old age.
I'm just gonna squeeze on by Pico and kind of whisper over to Ragu here for a quick second. He did just say that he tried to find this place by attempting to work with Gara of Sombra, didn't he?
I don't know
That's
if it
what I'm
was Gara just
suspecting.
yeah,
I,
yeah,
it
yeah.
might have been
I
worse than useless. They might have been trying to guide away. We'll have to ask some details about that. But anyway, here, you look like you're hungry, and I go ahead and pass a fistful of berries over to the guy.
You do so, and they do seem to help. You see his wounds closing, and you see him hop up in the air. How many do you give him?
All 10.
All right, you see him kind of bounce in the air. It's like, well, young man, I see you know some tricks. Oh, he
those tabaxi, they were mercenary guides you've hired, or were they actually part
they
of your
claim
group?
to be some sort of diplomats of some diplomats, I say. But yes, they got the
Fombre.
Sombra?
no, that's not what they call themselves.
Oh, they call themselves Gara the dog, didn't
Yes,
they?
yes, that is them.
Well, they were almost certainly imposters.
I see. And
Which is why they
Oh,
were
did
nested.
they happen to have somebody amongst their ranks named Ragath?
yes, I spoke to Regath a couple of times.
Ah,
Oh, so they are imposters. I see you're a tabaxi. I guess you would know such things. Do you know their purpose?
well, actually, their purpose may be to help further well, basically contrary to yours. In fact, I think they probably have something in common with that cultist in terms of, you know, trying to allow the Kylon to be more of a danger. And if you're interested in some Tabaxi trivia, you have now officially met your first 2 genuine members of the Garra de Daga clan. I am
3
Pico,
members.
this is Oreo.
Did I say you needed to say my name? Jesus
He
Christ!
nods and he says, "Oh, they when I was dealing with them, they'd asked me some interesting questions, and I think they were looking for you. Is that true?"
Oh, it is most certainly true.
Ah, I see. So you were the ones they were looking for. Very good to know. Thank you.
And if they had found us on our terms, that probably would have made your dealings with these cultists even more difficult.
I see.
For one thing, we would not have been around to rescue you.
Very lucky for me then. Well, I guess they are even more useless than I had originally understood. But anyway, back to the matter at hand. This is all very interesting, but my allies, I do not know how long they have to live. So, will you allow me to accompany you?
Sure. Now, given what little we know of this cave network, looks like there to the east, I see a passage wrapping around to the south. I wonder if that might come around in a spot that might be advantageous, or do we have to go through the area of the cave in? It might be worth exploring that. Oh, wait, no, that passage is really dinky, wasn't it?
The only way we found was unfortunately through that accursed cave in.
Hold on a second. I'm going to go check that out. I'm going to have a quick look around this corner here.
Okay.
There
Um,
is one pathway going down from there, but I haven't checked it out, and I don't know how close it gets to that spot.
I'll light up Produce Flame here, see if there's anything to spot in the bigger passage.
You do so. You see some annoying insects that seem to be eating at the mushrooms. How close do you get?
Not any closer.
Okay. You see this path narrows and narrows. It looks like there might be something past it, but it gets to the point where it would take something like a mouse to fit through.
All right, I'll be right back. All right, the passage gets impossibly tiny. Do you guys want to go around through the cave-in and see what you can do? I'm going to go ahead and follow around the other way.
I did find a kind of hidden chamber. We can investigate that. I do not know where it leads or what it does, but it's right next to the cave-in, and we won't be too terribly close for them cultists to get the jump on us.
Oh, yeah, I think I saw that when we were pulling back. We could
Yeah.
check that out real quick. And then if I go the other way, if char is available and some twine, I might be able to, you know, have an means of extraction in the event of an emergency.
I just kind of wheel up. Char, we need you, my loyal friend.
Okay. All right. So what are you doing?
Well, I think we
Char.
should go ahead and check out the little hideout thing first.
So, like I said, there's some rocks and stuff in the way. Until this cave in, it was probably completely blocked or mostly blocked. So, you're going to spend a couple of minutes to move the rocks.
Yeah, I'll help him out.
Very,
Sure.
very quietly.
All right. You do so.
Now, I did call Char.
All right. I'll move them over to you then. All right. Anyway, so what you're seeing, Pico, is this shaft that's going straight up, probably about 15 feet. And then you see some water. That the water seems you see it go down into some sort of underwater cave. Go ahead and move you there.
All right. Any sign? Well, I don't know if I want to get wet. I guess somebody else can explore that.
I can go in. Whee!
You're gonna go in the underwater.
Yeah, while the others are doing their check, I'm just gonna do a quick see of what it is that's going on in there. So.
I might
Oh.
need to see him just to move him around or something, but Char's going to be sticking with Pico and doing what he says.
All right. Anyway, so Oreo, you swim down and you see this underwater cave. The water is cold and dark. Long seaweed-like plants grow from the cave bottom, reaching to the top, making it difficult to move. They basically count as difficult terrain. So, as you probably know, water already counts as difficult terrain. So then this basically counts as so instead of half movement, where the plants are is 1/3 movement. Large and deep blue mushrooms grow from the cave floor, and you see movement ahead from inside the plants. And the cave branches out multiple directions. Oh, sorry, I'm on the wrong thing. So here's the plants where the movement
Yeah.
is, and then the cave's branching off multiple directions.
Okay, I'm just gonna take as best as I can of a mental picture of the mushrooms and the plant, and then I'm gonna resurface back out.
Okay. So let me go back up here. All right.
I go ahead and help Ori dry off with a cantrip.
Thank you.
Is there any way I can get temporary control of Char? If not, we'll just pretend Char is following me.
Fair enough.
Yeah, either that or let me actually physically see through his eyes, and then I can just follow.
Represents character. Oh, I have to do it from that character sheet. Oh, I see what you're saying. Yeah. So here, I will do that. Owl sight. You should now have
Oh, there
owl
we go.
sight.
I do, thank you.
Okay. So, all right. So you're heading toward that small cave, and what are you doing from there?
All right, so I'm going to work as far down as possible, and I am going to have Char wait for me basically right where I am.
Okay.
I am going to tie some twine around Char's foot. I'm going to try and leave a healthy amount of this stuff. I don't know, maybe we'll go with 100 feet. That should be more than plenty.
Char is a highly intelligent bird. If you just go ahead and leave the loop by him and tie it to you, he could just grab the whole loop and pull back however much you need as length.
Well, yeah, I mean, the slack's going to automatically be here, but just
Yeah.
worst case scenario,
Okay.
tying it to his foot means that the end can't possibly get lost.
Okay.
Anyway, so at this point, I guess I'm going to change into a spider, and I am going to basically weave the twine onto me so that I can go ahead and pull my way through.
Okay, so yeah, you pull your way in there and you find this small cave, like I said, basically the size of a mouse. And eventually it opens up, and you see this large group of, by large, I mean at least dozens of mice, and you find they have very, basically this den. You can see bits of food. You can see a couple of coins. You can see bits of trash. And as you crawl in as a spider, the one of the mice starts kind of running your direction.
All right, well, I am going to go ahead and back up, and I'm going to use feline agility to move faster as I stay on the ceiling of this passage.
Okay. All right, yeah, you're on the ceiling, and it's tall enough that the mice can't get at you. And as you look around, like I said, you see a bunch of mice. As you get further in, it seems to be a warren of nests, and you're guessing there's probably about 100 mice here, with lots of babies. And you can see that they've been collecting food and trash and coins from people who've come in this cave. And you can see there's probably, maybe about 8 silver worth of coins in there. But you don't spot anything else useful.
All right.
You don't see any paths that lead to the south.
All right, and no items of interest?
Not that you can see. Yeah, like I said, it's mostly trash and shiny things, but nothing, nothing that really catches your eye. You being much smarter than a mouse is.
All right, well, I'm going to go ahead and back my way out. And does this really seem like the only way out for them?
Actually, probably not. You think there's a way out to the north? Probably in that same room where Ragu and Oreo and them are.
Hmm.
Probably where the mushrooms are, kind of hidden away.
And is this all rocky or is it?
It's all rocky, yeah.
Ah,
It's a fairly plain gray texture, but yeah, it's definitely rock.
all right. Well, I'm going to go ahead and back all the way out. Once there's enough room, I'm going to go ahead. Actually, no, I'm going to stay in this form. And right here next to char, I'm going to crawl up the wall and I'm going to go ahead and write the word follow in a web and start heading back around to meet with everybody.
Okay.
While he's doing that, I'm telling these guys what it is that I specifically saw, and I did want to make a note to like essentially memorize as much as I could underwater so I can relay it to them.
Yeah, and they didn't see anything, so go ahead and actually tell them what you saw.
It just so it's an entire cave system similar to the one we're currently in, and just imagine in the hex that I'm currently in, maybe 2 or 3 around at most are the only real empty spots. Everything against the walls is covered by plants, and it covers like a full hex worth all around. So, for example, if let's see if I can do something here. So, like if whoops, I don't know why they did that, but okay. So like what you see in the center is essentially the only clear spot, and then everything around it is filled with plants. There's like a mushroom growth that's really large in the middle, from the floor up. So it seems like the mushrooms have more sustenance, I guess, underwater or something. I don't know what that might affect it or anything, but I did see movement within the plants. So if anyone were to traverse there, I'm sure that there might be trouble. And it doesn't end here. There's like an entire cave system that kind of, whoops, you guys can't see that part, but it essentially just goes in the northeast direction, and then it splits into two, north and south, and it keeps going. And there's plants the entire way.
So yeah,
Do you know
just to be
exactly?
clear, Oreo, you saw at least two paths branching off.
Right, that's what I mean. So there's a tunnel going northeast, and then from there it branches off north and then one south. And there's plants across all of the walls.
Did you, what did the plants look like? Can I ask her to try and describe a
It
leaf
looks like
color or shape or
it's
anything?
it looks like seaweed is how it was represented to me. Seaweed, and it was like a dark green, and it was very um full. Like it was just a lot of heavy plants in the water. I mean, I guess I'll say that she'll spend extra time to kind of go into more finer details because I know he's into botany and maybe he can like try and make an association with that. So can he do something like a roll for it?
Sure.
Yeah, that's what I
Yeah,
was
you can make
getting
a botany check.
at.
While that's going on, since the old guy wouldn't have known about me changing into a spider, I am making it a point to climb up a wall onto the ceiling and basically cross over his head so he doesn't notice me
Okay.
and head over to the cave.
Okay. So before you get too far, it's almost time to end. So I think we're gonna end soon. So we'll go ahead and just stop there. As far as your botany goes, Ragu, it seems like it's a type of a seaweed-like plant that tends to grow in underwater caves. However, what's interesting about it is that there's a certain type of creature that tends to live in it. And let me open it up. Yeah, so swarms of quippers tend to live in there. And I'm going to go ahead and put a graphic on the screen. It's not actually here, but I just want to give you an idea what they look like. They are basically swarms of piranha-like carnivorous fish.
Oh God. There you go. Nice
And that's
image.
what I figured with the botany is if I know about the plant, then I'll know about what kind of things like to live in it.
Exactly.
Yeah.
In fact, you get experience points for that. All right, so yeah, I think we're gonna go ahead and call the session here. You guys are in an interesting spot. As far as next time, we'll have to figure out a good way of getting the rest of the party members here, because I'm gonna assume you're gonna want them.
Maybe.
If they're available. Well, yeah.
All right,
It would be nice.
let me go ahead
I
and
would.
calculate this. So.
Well, we could claim that we told them where we were going and they wrapped up their duties and went to follow us. I mean, we left the
I mean, we
passage
could
open.
also couldn't we say also like, okay, we're not back by like so and such hour. Go find us, and we're telling you where we're gonna be.
Well, yeah, they told us. Yeah, we told them and where we're going to be, and when they're done, they can come and catch up with us. Yeah.
Sure, that's fine. That's fine. That sounds good.
Yeah, doing the whole they could catch up would make it more likely that they'd go immediately rather than wait around and hope everything was fine.
Well, I mean, considering it took, like he said, it was several hours just to get into this underground system. I'm assuming that we would have said, okay, we're not back in an hour. Go find us.
Right, but
Well,
keep
they
in
were.
mind that, well, if they had to wait until they were sure that we weren't back in time, that still puts them hours behind us. Whereas if they just left us, if we just like, oh yeah, catch up to us whenever you can, they leave as soon as they can, and thusly that lag time shouldn't be as long as my
That's
thinking.
fair enough. I'm going to say that they were able to retrace your steps and show up, mainly just to make things easier. So we'll just say that at some point in time they had caught up and were following you. It's just they were too far back and you didn't realize it. All right, so everybody gains 600 and I'm sorry, I miscalculated. That would be 550 experience points. Let me fix that. It'd be nice if I can do math. Everybody gains 550 experience points, 100 for encounters, and most of it for the exploration and finding clues and whatnot, a little bit for treasure. And then I didn't specifically or keep good track, but based on the way that fight went, I'm just going to assume everybody failed at least twice and leave it at that.
Most of us did for sure. Devok missed a spear attack and missed an opportunity attack. I was failing rolls all over the place. And I've got Oreo missing her first death save and missing a short bow attack against the Yankee. I was missing what Ragu might have done, but yeah, the way that fight was going,
I'm not gonna worry about it. It's just the way everybody was missing. I'm just gonna leave it at that. All right, so everybody gets 550 experience points and 100 points for learning by failure, which is what Galen and I unfortunately missed out on.